family cultivation. I can improve my magic weapon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1 Lingjian Island Chen Family. Ding. Please receive your magic weapon enhancement talent. Chen Qingyun opened his eyes and heard a voice in his mind, like a song coming from the mist in the distance. After thinking about it, this should not be an auditory hallucination, so he tried to receive the talent. Ding. The talent is received successfully. Any magic weapon belonging to the host can be decomposed, enhanced, and fused. Accompanied by the prompt sound of successful receipt, before Chen Qingyun could react, a turquoise ancient-style panel immediately appeared in front of him. Qingguang Sword, First Grade Inferior Qing Ning Mirror, First Grade Inferior Enhancement Points, 0. The data on the panel is very concise, showing the 2 low-level magic weapons he now owns. This is obviously the activation of the Golden Finger. Chen Qingyun was an office worker in his previous life. 5 years ago, he died suddenly because of staying up late. When he woke up again, he found that he had traveled to this world of immortal cultivation and became the descendant of the Chen family, a family of Xinghai immortal cultivation. Chen Qingyun felt extremely fortunate to be able to step into the road of immortal cultivation in this life. He had a dream of immortal cultivation since he was a child. But when the ideal came into reality, Chen Qingyun soon discovered that this world was not peaceful, and it was much more dangerous than he had imagined. The so-called path of cultivating immortals and seeking the truth is also rugged and difficult, and the road is long and obstructed. Now that the Golden Finger has arrived, it is the foundation of his survival in this world. Just as he was about to try the ability of this Golden Finger, at this time, a subtle sound of footsteps suddenly sounded outside the house. Sixth young master, sixth young master. A gentle call came from outside the house, and the voice was very familiar. It was a girl. Hearing the call, Chen Qingyun's eyes moved away from the system panel and replied in a flat tone, "Come in." As soon as the voice fell, creaked, the door was pushed open, and a beam of sunlight sprinkled in, reflecting the dust in the air. A maid with an outstanding figure stepped into the house, with a bit of urgency in her expression. Sixth young master, the clan leader is calling you over. Clan leader. Chen Qingyun whispered, and an image of an old man appeared in his mind. He was a little confused, and looked at the maid who was bowing her head beside him and asked, "Do you know why the clan leader called me?" "This, I don't know either." The maid shook her head, her pretty face full of respect, and said, "But several senior members of the clan have arrived, and it seems that there is something important to discuss." "Sixth young master, you might as well go over quickly." Hearing the maid's words, Chen Qingyun pondered slightly. The clan leader has been in seclusion all year round, and only summons clan members at annual meetings or to discuss major events. The clan leader is so anxious to summon. Even the senior members of the clan have already arrived. What important matter is he going to discuss? "Well, you leave first. I'll go over now." "Yes." Hearing this, the maid nodded and quietly stepped back. Without waiting for the maid to walk away, Chen Qingyun had a thought, put away the system panel in front of him, and disappeared. Things have their priorities. There will be time to explore the Golden Finger later. He left the courtyard, performed the wind control technique, and flew towards the direction of the clan hall. The Chen family is located in the southern part of Xinghai, an inconspicuous island in the Xingsha Islands. Looking down from the sky, the island looks like a green jade sword unsheathed, so it is named Lingjian Island. Lingjian Island is full of spiritual beauty and breeds spiritual energy, which makes the Chen family flourish here and establish a small immortal family. The immortal way is evergreen. Remember the virtuous and think about progress. Know books and observe etiquette, and make clear the ambitions of Xinghai. The Chen family was founded by the foundation-building cultivator Chen Taixu. The 16-character genealogy established by the family has been passed down for nearly 200 years and has developed to the generation of the character 9. Today, The family has more than 20,000 descendants and 24 cultivators. The head of the Chen family of this generation is named Chen Xianming. He is the only one of the generation of the characters Yuan in the family. He is over 160 years old and is also the only foundation-building cultivator in the family. Under the leadership of Chen Xianming, the Chen family has been developing rapidly in recent years. It has begun to keep pace with the surrounding Zhu family and Zhang family, and is one of the 9 foundation-building immortal families in Xingsha Islands, with great potential. Compared with those Qi training families, or casual cultivators who rely on picking up the leftovers that the great immortal sects look down upon to make a living, the Chen family is already self-sufficient and does not need to fight and kill all day long, or engage in intrigue and deception. Chen Qingyun, who traveled through time, also enjoyed the dividends brought by the family and did not have to worry about resources. While his thoughts were floating, it took only a moment for Chen Qingyun to come to the main hall of the clan. When he stepped into the main hall, 6 family leaders had already arrived, and the atmosphere seemed a little solemn. Meet the clan leader, meet several uncles, elders, and clan sisters. Chen Qingyun looked around and saluted. Except for the clan sister Chen Qingyun, who was of the same generation as Chen Qingyun, the rest were all high-level members of the Chen family. In this life, Chen Qingyun gradually integrated into this big family as a descendant of a cultivation family. With the company and care of his relatives, Chen Qingyun gradually integrated into this big family. Qingyun, you are here. Hearing Chen Qingyun's greeting, everyone's eyes fell on Chen Qingyun, and the second elder Chen Dalin showed admiration. Although Chen Qingyun's talent was average, belonging to the 3 spiritual roots of gold, fire and wood, he was diligent in cultivation and common behavior, so he was quite loved by the family. After a while, when Chen Qingyun sat down, Chen Xianming, who was sitting in the main seat, spoke slowly. Very good, since everyone is here, then I will get straight to the point. This time I summoned you here because my Chen family was summoned by Xingzong. As soon as Chen Xianming finished speaking, the atmosphere on the scene suddenly fell into a dead silence. When the star sect summoned them, the expressions of several elderly monks present changed, as if they had encountered something difficult. Chen Dalin frowned and asked, when did the star sect come to our Chen family to summon us? What are the requirements for this summons? Yesterday, the star sect's patrol envoy came to visit us on the orders of the sect and summoned us to fight against the star sea monster tide in 5 years. According to the requirements of the battle, our Chen family needs to send a foundation-building monk and 8 monks of the same clan to fight in 5 years. If they fail to arrive on time and are not summoned, the Chen family will be expelled from the Star Sea. This Star Sea monster tide that happens once every 100 years is coming. When Chen Xianming said this, there was an uproar in the hall. 1 foundation-building cultivator, 8 cultivators of the same clan, 9 people need to be drawn to join the war. There are only 24 cultivators in our clan, so we need to draw a lot of strength now. Yes, this Star Sea monster tide is coming, according to the Star Sect's conscription conditions. Many of us present here will have to go to the front line in 5 years. Many clan members showed bitterness and started to discuss Star Sect conscription, Star Sea monster tide. Listening to the discussions of several elders, Chen Qingyun murmured in his heart and began to search for relevant memories in his mind. It has been more than 5 years since he traveled to this world, and he did not spend it in a daze. He had read a lot of books a long time ago and had a clear understanding of this world. Naturally, he knew what the so-called Star Sect conscription was. As the top sect in the Star Sea, the Star Sect began to issue a conscription to the outside world, summoning many forces to fight against the Star Sea monster tide. This is a major event related to the inheritance of the human race. Considering that some people present would be confused, Chen Xianming began to explain the ins and outs of this matter. Chapter 2 Microhematite Veins. Listening to Chen Xianming's story, everyone recalled the ins and outs of the Xinghai recruitment. Since the ancient destruction more than 10,000 years ago, The Wanyao Sea has been occupied by hundreds of millions of demons. Endless demons rule this sea world, and the human race can only hide in the sewers like rats and struggle to survive, and they are in a state of panic all day long. Such days lasted for nearly 10,000 years. Until one day, the savior Xingzong appeared. Under his leadership, the human race joined forces to kill demons, ward off beasts, subdue demons, and open the sea, and only then did they gain a place and established the Xinghai Pure Land for survival. Soon after, in order to govern the Xinghai, the Xingzong came into being and became the first force in the Xinghai, which could not be shaken. But after the ancient destruction, the human race was devoured by demons, and the number of cultivators dropped sharply, far from the endless number of sea and land demons in the Wanyao Sea. Every 100 years, these sea and land monsters will migrate and wreak havoc, turning almost all the land into wasteland and making people miserable. In order to defend their homeland, Xingzong stipulated that all the immortal cultivation forces in the Xinghai must join forces every 100 years to eliminate the sea and land monsters that keep migrating to the Xinghai. In order to maintain the long-term stability of the Xinghai. Once Xingzong begins to issue a call to the outside world, it means that the Xinghai monster tide that occurs every 100 years is about to hit. It is extremely difficult for the human race to survive in this world. The call issued by Xingzong, let alone the small Chen family, even the Jinan family cannot refuse. Fighting against the monster tide and protecting the survival territory is a great cause in the Xinghai immortal cultivation world. It is reasonable for the Chen family to participate in the Xingzong call. While Chen Qingyun was pondering, Chen Xianming's words continued to come. More than 10,000 years ago, the vast sea of stars, the demons devoured the sky, and the human race struggled to survive. In order to continue the human race's legacy and fight for a ray of light in the darkness, the ancestors of all generations died generously, joined forces to ward off beasts, open the sea, slay demons, and subdue demons. This is how the pure land of cultivation in the Sea of Stars was established, giving us a place to reproduce and thrive, and no longer being kept and eaten by demons as food. Speaking of this, Chen Xianming was excited and said loudly, "The demon tide is coming and endangering the Sea of Stars. As a cultivator of the Sea of Stars, I don't ask to live forever with the world, but I want to die a good death. This time, our Chen family cannot stay out of the call, and naturally we have to shoulder the obligation to protect the Sea of Stars. All the families and sects in the Sea of Stars, such as the 4 major sects of Wuan Chanlu Mountain and Weishan, will send troops to participate in it. Even if we don't receive a call, we should remember the kindness of our ancestors and take the initiative to help share the worries." Hearing this, many people present nodded slowly and agreed with Chen Xianming's words. Chen Daoran quickly expressed his opinion and agreed, "When the enemy comes, we will fight him. When the water comes, we will block it with earth. In order to welcome this 5-year war, we might as well make plans early." "That's right." Seeing that everyone understood the pros and cons, Chen Xianming nodded. "When the nest is destroyed, how can the eggs remain intact? Everyone knows the principle of lips and teeth being cold, so I won't elaborate on it. I remember the call up 100 years ago. The requirement for our Chen family to be called was to send out at least 1 foundation building cultivator and 5 qi refining cultivators, which was not a large number. The reason why 3 people were added this time is that according to the patrolling envoy, the scale of the beast tide in 5 years will be unprecedentedly large, so the call-up requirements have to be increased. It is not to discriminate or deliberately target. I hope we understand. When the time comes, we need to go to which area of the outer star sea to gather, and we will have to wait for the next instructions from the star sect." At this point, Chen Xianming's expression turned solemn. "There are only 24 cultivators in our family, and half of them are still in the early stage of qi refining. Naturally, we cannot let them go to die. Therefore, the candidates for the battle in 5 years will basically be you who are present. The demon battlefield is dangerous and unpredictable. In the past 5 years, You must practice hard and improve your strength. As the clan leader, I am also the only foundation-building cultivator in the family. I will go to the battlefield with you at that time, so that you can take care of me. Clan leader. When everyone saw Chen Xianming like this, they felt a little bit reluctant. Chen Xianming is over 160 years old. He has not enjoyed his old age yet. He will go to the battlefield to fight demons in the future. This is really sad. There are so many demons in the sea of 10,000 demons that even giant and cultivators can hardly protect themselves, let alone them who are chi refining and foundation building cultivators. If it is not for protecting the Star Sea and fulfilling the obligation to fight against the demon tide, who would be willing to fight on the front line? Isn't it good to practice in the family? Feeling the dull atmosphere, Chen Xianming took a deep breath. Okay, let's do as Dao Ren said. Let's make early plans for the war 5 years later and strive for a chance of survival. According to past practice, during the war, Xingzong will not only set up a ban, prohibiting all forces and cultivators in the Star Sea from attacking the summoned family, otherwise anyone who violates it will be included in the Xingzong's killing list. At the same time, Xingzong will also send cultivators to guard the summoned forces, so there is no need to worry about someone taking advantage of our Chen family, and you can dispel your worries. Hearing this, everyone's expression eased a lot. With Xingzong cultivators guarding the Chen family during the war, there is no need to worry about foreign enemy forces coming to attack, and they can fight on the front line with peace of mind. This is a humane point. Xingzong is not cold-blooded and ruthless, and will still act as a protective umbrella for the Zhuxian family. Speaking of this, I just happen to have another good news to tell you. Chen Xianming restrained his expression and a smile began to appear on his face. Oh, what good news? Tell me about it. Hearing the good news, Chen Qingyun, Chen Dalin and others, who were originally in low spirits, brightened up. Chen Xianming smiled and said, the good news is that the family has recently discovered a microvein of hematite. After investigation, the ore reserves of this hematite are enough for us to mine for about 50 years. Now that we have this hematite, we have a considerable family income, which will consolidate the family economy and enhance your strength. This is also the second thing I want to say when I summon you here. When mentioning the hematite, the elder Chen Daoren perked up and said, this hematite is located on Zhenhai Island, the second base of the family. The family has sent people to mine this vein and produced some hematite. You all take a look. As soon as the voice fell, Chen Xianming took out 6 pieces of hematite from the storage bag, and controlled them one by one with magic power, floating in front of everyone. Everyone took the hematite and looked at it carefully. Hematite is red in color and is one of the main materials for refining first-level magic tools. It can also be used for array manufacturing, sect construction, etc. It is very practical. After a while, the third elder Chen Qingyun clenched the hematite in his hand and said in surprise, good, good. With this hematite mine, not only will the family's income increase greatly, but in the next 5 years, we will also have more spirit stones to train our clansmen to deal with the Star Sea monster tide in 5 years. Not bad. Chen Xianming nodded and gave a piece of hematite to everyone present. This hematite mine is undoubtedly a timely help for us, and it comes at the right time. Chapter 3 Family Mission. Speaking of the discovery of a new mineral vein, Chen Xianming proposed that the family should make every effort to mine hematite in the future to accelerate the development and construction of the family. Chen Xianming's proposal was quickly recognized by everyone. The emergence of hematite is undoubtedly a life-saving straw that the Chen family can reach. Several senior executives with rich qualifications began to discuss how to mine hematite with maximum efficiency and increase the family's income. The atmosphere was very lively. Chen Dalin took the lead in proposing his own ideas. I think that although it is good to have more income, we can't just rely on this hematite vein to increase our strength. How about this? In the next 5 years, I will temporarily suspend my practice and work hard to refine more pills for the family to increase their cultivation. In this way, we will have more chances of winning on the front battlefield 5 years later. Chen Dailin is the only alchemist in the family, and has reached the first level ultimate attainments. He is responsible for the planting of the medicine garden and the refining of pills on weekdays. He has made great contributions to the family and is hard-working. When someone heard Chen Dailin's decision to temporarily slow down the progress of his cultivation for the next 5 years, he immediately objected. Dailin, no. Your cultivation has reached the 7th level of qi refining. The family should have allowed you to practice in seclusion and break through the bottleneck. We must not let you delay your path for alchemy. Cultivation for cultivators is a race against time. Chen Dailin is 55 years old this year. According to the maximum age limit for foundation building, he must try to build a foundation before the age of 60. Otherwise, if he is over 60, it will be difficult to build a foundation because of the decline of qi and blood and damage to the body. This is why cultivators have been working hard to practice since childhood, striving to reach the 9th level of qi refining before the age of 60 and impact the foundation. And alchemy is time-consuming and laborious, and often requires seclusion. Chen Dailin's doing this is tantamount to delaying the precious 5 years of cultivation. He will miss the maximum age for foundation building, and he may never be able to build a foundation again in his life. Grandpa Dailin. Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Dailin, the third grandfather, and couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Reborn in this world of immortal cultivation. Chen Qingyun has heard that many cultivators, for their own benefit, do not hesitate to cheat each other and do many immoral things. But it is the first time that he has seen someone like Chen Dailin, who is willing to delay his own path in order to improve the strength of his clansmen. If it were on earth in the previous life, similar grace of enlightenment would be too rare. With this family bond that is thicker than blood, it is reasonable for the Chen family to gradually grow in the future. I have made up my mind. Don't try to persuade me anymore. I have wasted decades. Even if I am given another 10 years, I will hardly reach the 9th level of qi refining. It is better to spend more time on Dandao practice. In our family, there are not only you, but also some talented younger generations. These are the roots of the family. Although the family is currently in a recession and will face the call of Xingzong in 5 years, we cannot let the people of the family suffer. Not only should the family provide all the supplies, but we should also find ways to earn more supplies for you and leave them to our descendants. Chen Dailin said slowly, with a kind face, thinking about his people in his heart. At this time. No matter how the people around him persuaded him, he had made up his mind. Okay, whatever. Chen Daoran glanced at Chen Dailin and said seriously. Since the third brother is so righteous, I, as the elder brother, can't just watch you busy and stare at you. In the future, on the basis of maintaining the clan's refining, I will try to refine more magic tools to subsidize you. With more and better magic tools, you can also improve your strength. Compared with Chen Dailin, Chen Daoran's cultivation is lower. He usually focuses on the cultivation of magic tools and is a first-level top-grade refiner. The magic tools he refines are widely praised in the clan. After hearing this, Chen Qingyun did not think for too long and also spoke up. For me, I will go out to sea to hunt monsters, so that I can earn some monster pills for Uncle Dailin to use for refining pills. Well, it's no problem for Daoran to refine a few more magic tools, but it will be more difficult for him. But you have to go out to sea to hunt monsters. This is not possible, it's too dangerous. Some clan members dissuaded Chen Qingyun. There are many monsters in this sea, with varying strengths, including some second-level monsters. With Chen Qingyun's strength, frequent sea hunting of monsters is likely to be dangerous. 2 years ago, Chen Qingyun almost died in the mouth of a saber-toothed white shark during a sea training. After returning to the family, it took him a full year to recover, but fortunately he did not hurt his body. Hey, how can you not encounter monsters when you go out to sea? Chen Qingyun shook his head. Why is a grown man so fussy? It's settled. I Just want to go out more and take a breath of fresh air on the sea. If I really die in the mouth of a monster, it's my fate." Several senior executives of the older generation said a few words. All of them were dedicated to helping the family. Chen Qingyun listened quietly and found that this family was quite cohesive. He subconsciously began to think about what he could do. "Everyone, if you insist on doing this, then it's up to you." After listening for a while, Chen Xianming did not try to persuade them. He showed a warm look in his eyes, and silently remembered the good intentions of several people. He then put forward his own ideas. "I think that the mining of hematite should be carried out without affecting the operation of the family. The family's medicinal garden planting, spiritual scallop breeding, and the industry of refining water and fire talist robes have left the family short of manpower. Although the mine is guarded by Chen Qingyun, she is weak, and another person needs to be sent to guard the mine to share Qingyun's worries." As soon as Chen Xianming finished speaking, many people nodded. There are only 24 cultivators in the Chen family. In order to support the three major industries of the family, every adult cultivator has already performed his duties and has no time to be busy with other affairs. Otherwise, it will inevitably delay cultivation. When thinking about who to send soon, everyone looked at Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun back and forth. In the family, the only ones who are still free are Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun. Among the two, Chen Qingyun's cultivation level of the 4th level of qi refining is not only the best candidate. Moreover, he is the only weapon-making apprentice in the Chen family. If Chen Qingyun can be sent to guard the hematite vein, it will not only relieve the family's worries, but also help Chen Qingyun develop the way of weapon-making. Noticing everyone's gaze, Chen Qingyun knew what they were thinking. He is exactly 16 years old this year. According to the family rules, after a cultivator reaches adulthood, he needs to contribute to the family. Now that the family is short of manpower, the task of guarding the hematite mine will most likely fall on him. Spiritual veins are born in places where spiritual energy gathers, and hematite mines are even more so. Zhenhai Island naturally has no shortage of spiritual energy, which will not affect daily practice. Now that the family is in trouble, all the clansmen present are united and brave. As a member of the family, he naturally cannot stay out of it. It's also good to relieve the family's worries. Chen Qingyun was about to speak and take the initiative to take on the task of guarding the hematite mine. At this time, Chen Xianming's words came first. "Qingyun, the family is short of manpower now, and you happen to be an adult, so you can take charge. Are you willing to go to Zhenhai Island to guard the hematite mine for the family?" Chen Xianming asked with hope on his face. "Now, it's time for you to contribute to the family, you might as well think about it." "No need to think about it, it's okay." As soon as Chen Xianming finished speaking, Chen Qingyun nodded heavily. "I'll go to guard the hematite vein on Zhenhai Island." Chapter 4 Decomposition Instrument. Okay. When Chen Xianming heard this, he immediately laughed. "Lao, Qingyun is right there on Zhenhai Island." Several other tribesmen also smiled. With the selection of the person guarding the mineral vein finalized, this clan meeting will soon end. After the meeting, Chen Xianming and Chen Daoran left Chen Qingyun alone and added some details about guarding the mine. "Qingyun, I ask you to contribute to the family, but I can't take advantage of you. This is the first level low-grade flying magic weapon Fianzu, you should keep it. Zhenhai Island is no better than the family, you should pay more attention to safety when you go out. Originally, I shouldn't have let you off the island this time, alas, the family is short of manpower and there are not many monks that can be used, so I can only give you 3 years of injustice." Chen Xianming said and gave Chen Qingyun a sea map for easy travel. "Qingyun." Chen Daoran patted Chen Qingyun on the shoulder and smiled. "Don't blame me for being long-winded, second grandpa. Qingyun's child has a strong temper and is used to being independent. It's not easy for her to go out. From now on, I ask you to take more care of me. In addition, you can help me bring 60 kilograms of corn sprouts to Qingyun. She has loved eating this since she was a child." Chen Qingyun is the granddaughter of Chen Daoren, the fifth sister of Chen Qingyun, and one of the two weapon refiners of the Chen family. This girl was precociously intelligent at a young age, acted vigorously and resolutely, and her mind was far superior to that of her peers. She had the qualifications of the four spiritual roots. 3 years ago, she was originally at the 4th level of Qi refining. Due to damage to her Tao body and severe damage to her vitality, she was reduced to the 2nd level of Qi refining. She has not yet recovered. It is worth mentioning that this hematite vein was discovered by Chen Qingyun. After reporting to her family, she took the initiative to ask Qing to stay and be stationed on Zhenhai Island, taking on all matters related to mining the ore veins for her family. The last time Chen Qingyun saw Chen Qingyun was when the family held an annual meeting. At that time, although Chen Qingyun looked cold and unapproachable on the surface, he silently cared about his family. At the annual meeting, she also specially took out some spiritual fruits that had been treasured for many years and gave them to Chen Qingyun and her younger siblings to try, which impressed Chen Qingyun deeply. "Okay, Patriarch, second grandpa, don't worry. With fifth sister by my side, I won't feel lonely in the next 3 years." When Chen Xianming and Chen Daoren heard this, they both smiled and nodded. "These 60 kilograms of corn sprouts are stored in this storage bag. Keep it." "There are some other things in the storage bag." Chen Daoren took out a storage bag. "This time guarding the hematite vein is also an opportunity for you. I hope you can use the time to guard the hematite vein to collect local materials, and at the same time let King Yan teach you how to refine weapons. Second, Grandpa has nothing to give you. In addition to corn sprouts, this storage bag also contains some introductory tips for weapon refining that I compiled. I will pass them on to you now. Don't be surprised if the inner alchemy path in Xinghai is prosperous and the alchemy technique is highly sought after by monks. However, our family does not have the ability to train another alchemist. We are both cultivators of various immortal arts, and weapon refining is no less impressive than elixir refining. Once you achieve something, you will be equally popular." Chen Daoren said slowly. "This is also what Chen Xianming thinks. Guarding the mineral vein is one of them. The second is to train Chen Qingyun to learn the art of weapon refining. Among the current 3 major resource industries of the Chen family, in addition to the excellent development of medicinal garden planting and spiritual scallop breeding, the other one is the refining of water and fire talist robes. The water and fire talist robe is a first-level high-grade defensive weapon. It is very cost-effective, strong and durable, and can release the power of water and fire to attack or defend. It is very popular among Qi refining monks. With this industry, it can bring more than 600 spiritual stones to the Chen family every year. However, because the art of weapon refining is difficult to get started, training a weapon refining master is extremely expensive. Even the Chen family is a little overwhelmed. They can only train their 2 grandsons, Chen Daoren and Chen Qingyun, and now Chen Qingyun. Therefore, with the help of this hematite mine, there are ready-made materials for making weapons. Chen Xianming and Chen Daoren discussed and decided to train Chen Qingyun to become the 3rd weapon refiner in the family. Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up after hearing Chen Daoren's arrangement. He himself has a strong interest in weapon refining. The existence of Golden Finger also fits perfectly with his method of developing weapon refining and has great advantages. What is there to refuse? Thank you, second grandpa. Your grandnephew will definitely live up to your expectations. The opportunity was in front of him, and there was no turning it down. Chen Qingyun accepted the storage bag and bowed deeply to Chen Daoren. "Well, I see that your cultivation has reached the peak of the 4th level of Qi refining, and you are only 1 step away from the 5th level. You might as well work hard in the past few days and try to break through the bottleneck before heading to Zhenhai Island. I will inform granddaughter Qingyun later and she will wait for you to come over. You, too, should take good care of yourselves outside. If you have anything to worry about, just tell us. Don't bear it on your own. Go, go." Chen Daoren and Chen Xianming chatted for a few more words before waving their hands to signal Chen Qingyun to leave. After leaving the family hall, Chen Qingyun returned to the courtyard of his residence with a lot of worries, preparing to go to Zhenhai Island. Chen Qingyun would feel a little nervous about leaving the clan area and carrying out family tasks. After simply packing some luggage and working until noon, Chen Qingyun began to fumble for the golden finger he got in the morning. He brought up the system panel. Green light flashed in front of his eyes. Green light sword, first order low-grade Qing Ning Jing, first order low-grade strengthening points, 0. Since the Fianzu has not yet been sacrificed and recognized by its master, it has not yet been displayed on the system panel. Chen Qingyun looked at the data on the system panel, his eyes stopped at the item of strengthening points. What are these strengthening points? Is it obtained by decomposing the magic weapon? Chen Qingyun thought for a while. You will know after trying it. The only magic weapons he has now are the Qingguang sword and the Qing Ning mirror. Chen Qingyun waited and took out the Qing Ning mirror from the storage bag. The Qing Ning mirror is only the size of a palm and can cast a beam of light against the enemy. It consumes a lot of mana for the cultivator and is far less practical than the flying sword. When the hand grasped the Qing Ning mirror, a system voice sounded. A magic weapon has been detected. Do you want to decompose it? Decompose? Chen Qingyun muttered to himself. Judging from the literal meaning, this should be the way to obtain strengthening points. With a slight certainty in his heart, Chen Qingyun chose yes. Decompose. As the order was issued, the Qing Ning mirror flashed and turned into a light spot and disappeared. On the system panel, the column of reinforcement points changed from 0 to 1. The column of Qing Ning mirror that was originally displayed also disappeared. By decomposing a first-level low-grade magic weapon, you can get a few reinforcement points. So that's how it is. Looking at the reinforcement points obtained, Chen Qingyun immediately took out the Qingguang sword. The Qingguang sword is 3 feet long, and the whole body is green. It is made of green jade bamboo and is Chen Qingyun's magic weapon. He tried to strengthen the Qingguang sword to see if it was feasible. Do you want to strengthen the Qingguang sword? As this thought came up, the system popped up a dialog box again. Strengthen the Qingguang sword. Chapter 5 Zhenhai Island. Chen Qingyun issued the order to strengthen the Qingguang sword. Visible to the naked eye. The body of the Qingguang sword flashed slightly, transmitting a stronger word. Observe carefully. The flying sword was instantly upgraded from the first grade low grade to the first grade medium grade. In just a moment, it was strengthened and upgraded. It can really be strengthened. Feeling the improvement of the Qingguang sword, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but feel happy. At the same time, there were changes on the system panel. Qingguang sword, first grade medium grade strengthening points, 0. It was just a short time. A first grade low grade magic weapon was upgraded to the first grade medium grade in one fell swoop. That is to say, if there are enough magic weapons to decompose and obtain more strengthening points, then it can't be possible to create a second grade magic weapon in an instant. Even a third grade magic weapon. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun's joy became even stronger. Although according to his current ability, he can't get more magic weapons to decompose for the time being, which will limit the effect of the golden finger. But don't forget that this recent trip to Zhenhai Island may be an opportunity. If you learn the art of refining and become a refiner during the period of guarding the mine, you can refine magic tools for decomposition. No need to worry about magic tools. This family mission is a big opportunity. Chen Qingyun is already a little eager to move. After putting away the magic tools, he immersed himself in cultivation day and night for the next 2 days, and finally broke through the bottleneck of cultivation and reached the 5th level of qi refining. After a night of rest, the next day, Chen Qingyun prepared his luggage, informed his family, and left Linjian Island and flew towards Zhenhai Island. Zhenhai Island is located to the east of Xingsha Islands, more than 900 miles away from Linjian Island. It is a small island belonging to the Chen family. Driving the Fian boat and looking at the blue sea under his feet, Chen Qingyun felt that the sky was high and the birds could fly freely. He felt that the world was vast and endless. Regarding the understanding of the starry sea under his feet, a lot of memories emerged in his mind. The star sea is vast and boundless, and is divided into the inner star sea and the outer star sea. The inner star sea covers an area of more than 160 million square kilometers. With the star sect, the first sect in the star sea, as its center, there are many sea islands around it. Among them, the Star Sand Islands are the second largest island in the Star Sea, and there are tens of thousands of islands in the archipelago, scattered all over the place. The Chen family belongs to the Star Sand Islands. The outer Star Sea is about 3 times the size of the inner Star Sea. It consists of the Wuan Changlu Mountain and the outer mountain. That is, the 4 major sects of Wuan Island, Changlu, Yaoang Mountain, and Lingbao Mountain, as well as a large number of scattered islands. These forces all follow the lead of the Star Sect. Many immortal cultivation families in the Star Sea. For example, the Chen family, the Zhang family, etc., are mostly vassal forces of the 4 major sects of the Wuan Changlu Mountain and the outer mountain. Each of them is dependent on each other and lives in peace in a corner. As for the outside of the Star Sea, there is a vast wilderness that has not yet been opened. Because it breeds tens of thousands of demons, it is called the Sea of 10,000 Demons. Even a giant like the Xingzong is just a speck of dust in the Sea of 10,000 Demons. This is a paradise for demons. For example, the famous deep-sea demon whale, which is 1,000 feet long and reaches the 4th level. It lurks in the deep sea all year round and launches sudden attacks on passing ships or monks. Even giant monks avoid the deep-sea demon whale and take a detour. Not only that, the dangers in the Sea of 10,000 Demons are far more than just demons. For example, the 3 major natural disasters of sky wind, ghost fog, and vortex make all monks shudder. Any one of them is enough to wipe out giant monks, and even sea and land demon kings can't avoid it. As for what is outside the Sea of 10,000 Demons, Chen Qingyun doesn't know. The Chen family knows nothing about this. According to the instructions of the sea map given by the family, Chen Qingyun didn't dare to fly around. He carefully avoided the areas where monsters marked by the family often appeared, and tried to cross the safe sea area. One day later, Chen Qingyun arrived at the destination and hovered over a small island. This place is Zhenhai Island. Looking at the Xingsha Islands, it is just an inconspicuous small island outside the islands. Nowadays, under the construction of Chen Xianming, Zhenhai Island has been included in the Chen family's rule. There are many small islands like Zhenhai Island in the inner Star Sea. Many immortal cultivation families will occupy 1 or 2 islands as resource areas to facilitate the subsequent planting of spiritual fields, breeding of spiritual beads and spiritual shells. After the construction of the family, the 4-elephant black tortoise formation has been laid on Zhenhai Island, hiding the topography of the island to deceive people. Chen Qingyun looked down and saw that the entire island was located in the north-south direction, like a leaf floating on the sea, about 90 miles long and 30 miles wide. Nearby, more than 100 seagulls were swimming and playing, making bursts of cries. However, under the cover of the large formation around the island, the whole island looks like a deserted island. This is also to protect this place and prevent pirates from robbing it. The rampant pirates in the Starry Sea have always been a headache for the major immortal cultivation families. For this reason, the major families have to hide their resource islands to prevent pirates from coveting them. In order to build the second-level inferior 4-elephant black tortoise formation, the family has invested more than 2,000 spirit stones. It's really a big deal. After looking at Zhenhai Island for a few times, Chen Qingyun sighed slightly. Chen Xianming explained the basic situation on Zhenhai Island very clearly. Chen Qingyun did not dare to neglect it and kept it firmly in mind. The reason why the family is willing to invest so much is mainly to protect the hematite veins here. According to Chen Xianming, this hematite vein can be mined for about 50 years, and its value far exceeds the 4 symbols black tortoise array. It can be recovered in a few years of mining. Moreover, it can also create a large number of magic tools to strengthen the strength of the clan members. The family's investment is not a loss at all. But this also directly shows the importance of guarding this island, which cannot be taken lightly. Taking a deep breath, Chen Qingyun took out the communication jade talisman and began to contact the Chen family monks who were guarding here. After the message was sent. Soon, a small range of ripples appeared in the large formation around the island, and a gap in the formation slowly opened. Chen Qingyun's eyes moved, and he immediately entered the formation. The scene in front of him changed, and small plains, mountains, lakes, forests and other terrains appeared. A small mountain range with an unremarkable appearance and a dark brown color also came into view. Qingyun, a woman in black dress, cold and elegant, who looked to be in her early 20s, saw Chen Qingyun from afar and took the initiative to greet her. "Hello, fifth sister." Seeing Chen Qingyun hurriedly saluted. Chen Qingyun used the wind control technique, and the whole person was as light as a swallow, landing in front of Chen Qingyun. Time flies so fast, even you, sixth brother, have reached the age to contribute to the family. 2 months ago, after discovering this hematite mine, Chen Qingyun obtained the family's permission to come here to manage the mining of the vein. With her, there are more than 300 mortals of the Chen family. Fifth sister, the family sent me to guard the vein for 3 years. During these 3 years, I will trouble you to take care of me. Chen Qingyun smiled and briefly explained the family's mission. Well, the clan leader and grandfather have already sent a message to me about this matter. Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Qingyun with a pair of beautiful eyes. Qingyun, the family sent you to guard a mine. I guess your cultivation has reached the middle stage of qi refining, right? Chapter 6 Family Love. Chen Qingyun was also looking at this sister. I haven't seen her for about a year. The cold air on Chen Qingyun's body became stronger, giving people a feeling that she was not easy to approach. Fortunately, as a brother and sister, Chen Qingyun did not have any intention of alienating. To be honest, fifth sister, I just broke through to the 5th level of qi refining 2 days ago. Chen Qingyun replied. 5th level of qi refining. Knowing Chen Qingyun's cultivation, Chen Qingyun was slightly surprised. If I remember correctly, you are only 16 years old this year. If you continue to practice at this pace, within 20 years, our Chen family will probably have a foundation-building cultivator. Chen Qingyun was very clear about the current situation of the family and the matter of the Xinghai recruitment. She also wanted to share the worries of the family. If the family can add a foundation-building cultivator, this is what Chen Qingyun hopes to see most. Foundation building, period. Fifth sister, you are too kind. Chen Qingyun smiled bitterly. With the current economy of the family, it is not easy to maintain the operation of the family. Now we are facing the Star Sea monster tide in 5 years, and the family has no resources to obtain the foundation building pill. Even if I really grow rapidly in cultivation within 20 years and reach the 9th level of qi refining, I can only rely on my own perseverance and hard work to build the foundation. After listening to Chen Qingyun's words, Chen Qingyun was silent for a long time. Qi refining cultivators often need to use foundation building pills to break through the foundation building period, otherwise the probability of building a foundation is less than 1 in 10. But foundation building pills are not only expensive, but also rarely appear on the market. It is not easy to buy a foundation building pill. Chen Qingyun's words also expressed the helplessness and sadness of the Chen family. It is extremely difficult for the family to train a second foundation building cultivator. It is not unreasonable for Chen Qingyun to think so. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but look at Chen Qingyun twice, with a hint of admiration in his eyes. It's rare that you think about the family. You've really grown up a lot after just 1 year of not seeing you. This sixth brother gave her a much better feeling than she had imagined. She originally thought that Chen Qingyun would complain. It would be better to stay in the family and be comfortable and at ease than to complain that the family asked him to guard the mine. Unexpectedly, Chen Qingyun not only did not complain, but also complained here. Instead, he was willing to consider the family. The little child who used to like crying has really grown up now. Fifth sister, you can come here to manage the hematite mining and share the worries of the family. You have also made a lot of efforts for the family. Chen Qingyun smiled. We have plenty of time to chat in the future. Why don't you take me to see the mine here first? Yes. Chen Qingyun withdrew her thoughts. Come with me. Led by Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun looked around as he walked. The two slowly entered the southeast of Zhenhai Island and sat down in a beautifully shaped, simple and elegant attic. Outside the attic, rows of huge wooden houses can be seen built neatly. According to Chen Qingyun, those are all mortal residences with complete living facilities. In addition, there are several buildings engraved with prohibitions, like storage rooms, which are strictly guarded by several guards. It is where the ore is stored. After a brief inquiry, Chen Qingyun learned that the attic where they were was Chen Qingyun's living and practice residence, and he could feel the spiritual energy of heaven and earth contained in the air. Daily practice can be maintained here. Taking the tea handed by Chen Qingyun drank a few sips. Immediately, he remembered Chen Daoran's instructions. By the way, my second grandfather asked me to bring you some spiritual sprout rice. He saved money for a long time before leaving it. Chen Qingyun took out a large bag of jade sprout rice from the storage bag and placed it in front of Chen Qingyun. Second grandfather said that you have loved eating this since you were a child. This time, he asked me to bring 60 kilograms. Rice is a first-grade low-grade spiritual rice. If a cultivator takes it for a long time, it can achieve the effect of increasing his cultivation. Although the Chen family planted rice, the quantity was not large. Only 5 acres of land were planted. The annual production capacity of these 5 acres of spiritual fields is about 5,000 kilograms. Except for the consumption of the clan members, there is no extra rice for sale. These 60 kilograms of rice were saved by Chen Daoran bit by bit over the years, and he has never been willing to eat them. Mentioning Chen Daoran, and looking at the spiritual rice in front of him, Chen Qingyun's face showed tenderness. Grandpa, how is your health recently? She asked. It has been more than 2 months since I last saw him, and I miss this old man a little bit. The bag of rice brought by the old man also warmed her heart and touched her a little. Second grandfather is fine. Chen Qingyun smiled and told Chen Daoran about his current condition. When Chen Qingyun learned that Chen Daoran would spend more time refining magic tools to relieve the worries of the family, she felt a little distressed and couldn't help but grumble. He is already in his 70s, but he is still working so hard. I, as a granddaughter, am not doing well. Now he has saved so much rice for me to eat. Second, grandpa must have his own plans. What, grandfather doesn't love his granddaughter? Chen Qingyun smiled in his heart. He didn't go into this topic in depth, and immediately went straight to the point. Fifth, sister, tell me about the situation on this island. I want to get familiar with it as soon as possible. I want to live here with you in the future. Okay. Chen Qingyun nodded and gradually withdrew her thoughts. Qingyun, my strength is far inferior to yours. This time the family sent you to guard the island, and you don't have much to do. I will manage the mining of the mineral veins, the storage of ore, and the mining work of the family's mortals. You only need to take action when there are traces of monsters on the island or when it is attacked by outside monks. The rest of the time, you only need to stay on the island for 3 years. Chen Qingyun introduced slowly, and Chen Qingyun listened carefully and nodded in response. When the island formation was mentioned, Chen Qingyun took out a formation plate and handed it to Chen Qingyun. This array plate is used to control the 4 symbols Black Tortoise array on the island. Once the 4 symbols Black Tortoise array is activated, it can control the rocks and soil within a radius of thousands of feet, making them as hard as iron. It can withstand the attack of a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building at most. It is our biggest umbrella of protection. But, if we are attacked by enemies in the foundation building period, we need to inform the family as soon as possible, protect the mortals here, and wait for the family to come to support. Speaking of this, Chen Qingyun glanced at the mortals outside the attic, and a soft look appeared in his eyes. They are all descendants of our Chen family. Now they work hard for the family. We must protect them. In this way, in the next few days, accompanied by Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun toured the entire Zhenhai Island and became familiar with the environment here. The first few days were leisurely. The island was calm for a while. Until half a month later, when Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun were exploring in a mine cave, some abnormalities appeared in the ore vein. Several miners ran towards them in a hurry. Master, something bad has happened. A leading miner ran in panic, staggering, and ran to Chen Qingyun with sweat all over his forehead. Chapter 7 Fire Cloud Lizard. Seeing the other party so flustered, it was obvious that something had happened. Chen Qingyun frowned immediately. Why are you so flustered? Master, it's a monster was dug out in the mine. The miner answered vaguely, with a hurried tone. When they heard that a monster appeared, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun's expressions changed. As a spiritual mineral vein, it contains spiritual energy, which is suitable for cultivation or spiritual plant growth. It is not surprising that it attracts some monsters they are guarding here, so they naturally have to shoulder the responsibility of clearing monsters. But I didn't expect that this monster would appear so soon. Qingyun, let's go and take a look. Without delay, Chen Qingyun used the wind control technique and ran towards the mine in a hurry. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun hurriedly followed. The mine is deep and long, and the mine tunnels are also connected in all directions. Along the way, more than a dozen miners with sweat on their heads can be seen fleeing for their lives. The two asked the miners who had escaped while going against the flow of people. At the end of a mine, they soon saw traces of monsters. They were two wild boar-sized monsters with red bodies and lizard-like appearance. They were gnawing at a piece of hematite nearby. Fortunately, no miners' bodies were found around, and they obviously fled in time after discovering the monsters. Hey, this is... Chen Qingyun looked around for a few times and recognized this monster, and her eyebrows slightly frowned. Why, is there a fire cloud lizard here? Chen Qingyun saw the fire cloud lizard for the first time, and couldn't help staring at it. One of the fire cloud lizards opened its fangs and grinned at the two of them when it saw Chen Qingyun and the others appear, threatening them. A strange sizzling sound came from its sharp mouth, which made people's eardrums swell. Sensing the confusion on Chen Qingyun's face, Chen Qingyun explained briefly. The fire cloud lizard is ferocious by nature. It feeds on various spiritual minerals in the mineral veins. It is a first-class low-grade monster and is relatively rare in the Star Sea. The scales on their bodies are very hard and they are good at using fire attacks. If they are hit by fire, it will be uncomfortable. 6th brother, don't make a move this time, let me meet it first. When Chen Qingyun heard this, Chen Qingyun took action first. She patted the storage bag on her waist, and when she raised her hand again, a miniature man appeared on her palm. As soon as this miniature man appeared, it immediately attracted Chen Qingyun's attention. Before he could take a closer look. The next moment, the miniature man on the palm of his hand stretched his muscles. Then he suddenly jumped and landed in front of Chen Qingyun. Originally only the size of 3 or 4 fingers, it began to emit a bronze light all over its body, and it was rapidly growing and turned into the size of a person. Chen Qingyun took another look at it. What came into view was a person holding a long sword, more than 8 feet tall, and with a majestic figure. Cultivator? This thing grew from small to large, and turned into a tall human figure. Chen Qingyun thought it was a cultivator at first glance. But after a closer look, he found that there was no breath of life on the other party, and there was no expression on his face. Obviously, the thing in front of him was not a living thing, but more like a puppet, a magic weapon. The fire cloud lizard has amazing defense, and its sharp teeth can easily crush ore. It is not easy to attack at close range. Let's step back. After taking out the puppet, Chen Qingyun did not introduce what it was, but retreated 1 or 2 steps, and did not forget to greet Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun nodded, took 2 steps back, and looked back and forth between the puppet and the fire cloud lizard. He was full of curiosity about the puppet that Chen Qingyun took out. Go. Chen Qingyun opened her red lips slightly, controlled the puppet, and pointed at the grinning fire cloud lizard. Kill it. After receiving the master's order, the puppet held the long sword and strode forward with a huff. Whoosh. The puppet swung the sword at the fire cloud lizard, and the movements were very flexible and not slow at all. The fire cloud lizard was wearing heavy armor and moved slowly. It had no way to dodge in time, so it simply didn't dodge. Clang. A huge contact sound burst out. The fire cloud lizard, relying on its red scales, took the sword. The long sword in the puppet's hand vibrated and was blocked. The two looked at the sword's slashing point and found that the blow did not hurt the fire cloud lizard at all. After the blow failed, Chen Qingyun frowned. "Kill it again." She did not stop and ordered the puppet to continue swinging the sword and slashing. The puppet waved the long sword and continued to stride and slash. A series of clanging sounds rang out, sparks flew, and Chen Qingyun looked sideways. But after several such incidents, the fire cloud lizard was still intact. The powerful scale armor defense withstood the long sword's slash. This fire cloud lizard has such a strong defense. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun summoned the Qingguang sword and was about to attack. "No need, I have a way to deal with it." Chen Qingyun was a bit stubborn, so he stopped Chen Qingyun's action and then conveyed an order to retreat to the puppet. Upon hearing the news, the puppet took a few steps back. Escape underground. Chen Qingyun changed his battle strategy and gave a new order. Attack its abdomen from underground. After receiving Chen Qingyun's order, the puppet immediately rose with a bronze light. The originally strong figure suddenly changed and turned into a stream of light. With a whoosh, the puppet escaped into the ground and disappeared in an instant. This strange scene made Chen Qingyun look stunned. And the next moment, there was a burst of puffs. Chen Qingyun came back to his senses at this time and looked in the direction of the sound. I saw a cloud of dust suddenly burst out under the feet of the fire cloud lizard. A figure suddenly rushed out from the ground. It was the puppet. The puppet was holding a long sword, and the tip of the sword pierced into the belly of the fire cloud lizard fiercely. The sword penetrated more than 2 feet, and the fire cloud lizard bled for a while. The huge momentum also lifted the fire cloud lizard from the ground, and its body flipped in the air. Bang! The next moment, the fire cloud lizard fell to the ground like a boulder. Its whole body turned over, and it was visible to the naked eye that the fragile abdomen was pierced with a large hole, stained with blood. Puff! The puppet took advantage of the victory and swung the sword towards the belly of the fire cloud lizard again. This attack was fast, accurate and ruthless, and it killed it immediately. Escape underground. After killing a fire cloud lizard, the puppet received Chen Qingyun's order again. It continued to cast the earth magic, and turned into a stream of light and escaped underground. The same attack method. With the blessing of the earth magic, the puppet can shuttle freely underground and rush towards the remaining fire cloud lizard. This fire cloud lizard is not very strong. It is only at the first level of chi refining, and has been watching the battle. Facing the underground attack of the puppet, it simply can't dodge. Puff! A large amount of dust exploded from the ground, and the sharp sword brought a tearing sound. The long sword pierced the belly of the fire cloud lizard fiercely, causing the fire cloud lizard to roar and scream. The sword is undoubtedly fatal. The belly of the last fire cloud lizard was stained with blood, and it fell to the ground and struggled for a few times, and it was completely silent. After clearing 2 fire cloud lizards with a few moves, the puppet stopped moving. It stood there motionless, like a statue. Fifth sister, what kind of puppet is this? After witnessing the puppet's strength, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but marvel at it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8 5 Elements Sect, 5 Elements Puppetry. This puppet is so magical and can escape from the ground. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun glanced at Chen Qingyun lightly. She nodded slightly. Well, this is the 5 Elements Puppet. 5 Elements Puppet. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself. Fifth sister, you have also practiced the art of puppetry. After saying this, his eyes fell on the puppet again. Seeing that Chen Qingyun seemed to be interested in the puppet, Chen Qingyun was not in a hurry to put it away. She slowly explained, "You don't know something. Managing the mines is not easy at all. On weekdays, you still need to dig mines, carry heavy objects, etc. These tasks, according to ordinary people's ability, are not only time-consuming and labor-intensive, lack of safety, but also slow in efficiency, so I need a helper." As she spoke, she pointed at the puppet. "You may think that its strength is only at the level of qi refining, but whether it is digging a mine or engaging in other tasks, it is not ambiguous at all in its work. Most of the mines in this vein were dug by it, and its contribution is not small." Listening to the introduction, Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed. Looking at the puppet, it feels more and more like looking at a baby. Puppet is a magic weapon. Let's not talk about whether it is overkill for digging mines and cleaning out fire cloud lizards. Chen Qingyun had an idea at this moment. According to Chen Qingyun, the puppet only has the strength of the first level of qi refining. So if I use the golden finger, can I strengthen the puppet and improve its strength level? Think big. If this is feasible, can we refine a large number of puppets and strengthen them to enhance our own strength? In this way, he will not only be able to protect himself from the wave of Starsea monsters 5 years from now. Do you also have the ability to protect your tribe? When he thought of this, Chen Qingyun couldn't hold it any longer. Then, I wonder if it is difficult to make this puppet. Does it require any skill in weapon refining? Its highest strength is only at the level of qi refining? Faced with 3 consecutive questions from Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun looked sideways at Chen Qingyun and did not answer, but asked, "Are you interested in this technique? Kung Fu?" Chen Qingyun turned her hand, took out a jade slip from her storage bag, and handed it to Chen Qingyun. "You have a lot of questions. Since you're interested, let's practice with it." Looking at the jade slip of the martial art that was handed to him, Chen Qingyun was embarrassed to accept it for a moment. Kung Fu is an extremely important resource for a monk. Chen Qingyun has been practicing to this day. The only techniques he practiced were the fierce fire golden technique, the wind control technique, the light body technique, and the Hunyuan sword technique. This is all passed down in the family. At the moment. How could Chen Qingyun not be surprised that Chen Qingyun was so generous and actually handed over the jade slips for making puppets? Without rushing to accept it, Chen Qingyun asked hesitantly, "Fifth sister, the skills are hard-won, are you going to pass them on to me?" Chen Qingyun nodded, looking serious. She also guessed that Chen Qingyun would be worried and embarrassed to accept it, so she simply explained, "It's just a skill, it's not surprising. If you like it, just take it. I will rely more on your help in mining mines in the future, so I have found some benefits for myself." Seeing this situation, Chen Qingyun pondered for a while and stopped refusing. "Thank you very much, fifth sister." He accepted the jade slip of the Kung Fu technique, cupped his hands towards Chen Qingyun, and silently recorded this kindness. You can give the exercises as long as they are given. This kind of family love that is thicker than water is indeed far beyond what outsiders can compare to. I would like to ask, who among the outsiders with no blood relationship would be so generous in giving away a skill? Sixth brother, you're welcome. Seeing Chen Qingyun being so polite, Chen Qingyun shook his head slightly and smiled. When she made a move with her bare hands, the puppet in front of her turned into a stream of light, returned to her palm, and became a mini-size. Chen Qingyun held a mini puppet, placed her palm on the storage bag, and put the puppet inside. This scene fell in Chen Qingyun's eyes, which made Chen Qingyun a little impatient and wanted to read the jade slip of the martial arts in his hand on the spot. However, this is not the time yet. Put away the jade slips of the exercises. Next, the two of them explored the mine to see if there were any other fire cloud lizards hiding. It took about a stick of incense. After careful inspection and confirmation that there were no more fire cloud lizards, the two carefully cleaned up the corpses of the 2 fire cloud lizards. It is worth mentioning the scales on the back of the fire cloud lizard are a better material for refining weapons and can be used to refine first-level low-grade magic weapons. Since both fire cloud lizards were killed by Chen Qingyun, Their ownership naturally belongs to Chen Qingyun. Cut off 2 pairs of scales and put them away. Since the flesh and blood of the fire cloud lizard contains fire poison and is harmful to the monks, it cannot be used, so it is best to destroy it. After using the fireball technique to incinerate the 2 fire cloud lizards, Chen Qingyun's brows never relaxed. This caught Chen Qingyun's attention, and he couldn't help but ask, "Is there anything strange?" Chen Qingyun pondered for a moment. "Qingyun, when this mineral vein was discovered, the family's senior officials had already investigated it many times. Even if there are monsters in it, it should have been cleaned up long ago. Now that the fire cloud lizard appears, this matter is strange." Chen Qingyun nodded slowly when he heard this. Previously, my thoughts were focused on cleaning up the fire cloud lizard and puppet techniques, but I had neglected this point. What does fifth sister mean? Chen Qingyun asked. Chen Qingyun thought about it. How about this? In the next few days, I will start to investigate this matter, and at the same time we must be vigilant and not take it lightly. Okay, then it's as you say, that's the only way. After reaching a consensus, the two began to appease the miners here for more than an hour. The appearance of monsters in the ore vein will undoubtedly make them unable to mine the ore vein with peace of mind, and the subsequent mining of the ore vein will inevitably be affected. Busy all afternoon. That night. Back to the third floor of the attic, Chen Qingyun couldn't wait to check today's harvest. The jade slip of the technique given by Chen Qingyun. The divine consciousness probed into the jade slip and began to read it carefully. Half an hour later. Chen Qingyun had an understanding of this technique and developed a great interest. 5 Elements Sect, 5 Elements Sky Escape. This technique is called 5 Elements Puppetry, which is divided into 5 elements, and comes from an overseas sect called 5 Elements Sect. This 5 Elements Sect is located outside the Sea of Stars, in the mysterious Sea of 10,000 Monsters. The specific description of this sect is not mentioned much in the technique. In addition, this technique records a magical power called 5 Elements Sky Escape, which can only be comprehended after collecting all the 5 elements puppets. Unfortunately, the copy that Chen Qingyun got was a fragment. Not only was the practice method of 5 Elements Sky Escape missing, but there was only the technique of Earth Element. According to the technique record, the cultivator can use any kind of refining material containing gold, wood, water, fire, and earth to refine a puppet with the corresponding attribute. Because the technique is incomplete, Chen Qingyun's puppet belongs to the Earth Element puppet, which is made of hematite. Hematite is nurtured by the spirit of the earth for many years. The hematite born is nourished by rocks, contains rich earth attribute elements, and is also known as earth iron. Under the control of its master, this earth puppet can simply perform the most basic earth spells, such as earth escape and stone magic. Chapter 9, Refining Puppet. It's really a pity that we only have the earth element technique. The technique was incomplete and lacked the other 4 chapters of metal, wood, water, and fire. Chen Qingyun couldn't help but smile bitterly to himself. Good thing. The refining method of this earth elemental puppet is fully documented. The puppet that reminds me of Chen Qingyun is naturally an earth puppet, made from earth attribute minerals. Besides, Chen Qingyun was also secretly amazed at the defense aspect of the Qing puppet. It's not that its defense is very powerful. It's just a little harder than ordinary swords. The main thing is the ability to heal. Once the body is damaged, as long as the origin of the earth element still exists, the earth element material can be absorbed at any time to repair the body. The most common that is, you can use rocks, soil, sand and other materials that can be found everywhere to repair and reunite the body. This means that as long as there is a place where earth attribute materials are located, the earth puppets will not perish. Chen Qingyun had previously controlled the Qing puppet to fight and was not damaged. Therefore, Chen Qingyun did not see that wonderful repairability. Self-healing was completely beyond Chen Qingyun's expectations and was an unexpected surprise. But even so, according to what Chen Qingyun said, this earth puppet is indeed of low strength. Regardless of whether it is refined with 2nd level, 3rd level, or even 4th level materials, The puppet's strength can only be maintained at the first level of qi refining at most. Belongs to the first order low grade. The range of activities is only within 100 feet of its owner. Chen Qingyun didn't know whether the puppets refined in the other 4 chapters of metal, wood, water, and fire were like this. Second. Making the 5 elements puppet requires consuming a ray of spiritual thought from the monk. The monk's spiritual thoughts are born from the soul, and gradually strengthen as the monk's cultivation level increases. Dividing a ray of spiritual thought will have a certain impact on the divine soul and weaken the strength of the divine soul. The soul is extremely important to monks. Once the soul is damaged, it will not only lead to a regression in cultivation, but may even endanger life. Due to this side effect, 5 elements puppet cannot be produced in large quantities. Unless you strengthen your soul or practice techniques to improve your soul. At most, you can only refine a puppet with the first level of qi refining. The strength is indeed very low, and it will also consume spiritual energy and affect your own path. The refined puppet cannot be used by outsiders because it is bound to its own soul. It can only be used by yourself. Knowing this, Chen Qingyun felt quite regretful. However, this is also reasonable. If it can be refined in large quantities at no cost and without restrictions. Even after refining the puppets in the mid-stage qi refining stage and the foundation building stage as weapons, why did the Star Sect recruit all the major forces to fight against the Xinghai Demon Tide? Once tens of thousands of 5 elements puppets can be refined, a mere Star Sea Demon Tide will have nothing to fear. It was not without reason that Fifth Sister gave herself the 5 elements puppetry. According to her wishes. Quan should let Chen Qingyun refine a life assistant, which can serve the functions of serving tea and water, digging mineral veins, and cleaning up low-level monsters. Who would have thought that Chen Qingyun's real intention was to try to strengthen the puppet? If I refine an earth puppet and use strengthening points to strengthen it, will it improve its strength? Puppets can't break through the boundaries of the first level low grade, but they can with me. As for refining more 5 elements puppets, it will consume a lot of spiritual energy. There is no solution to this problem. Just practice some techniques to strengthen the spiritual soul. After sorting out these things, Chen Qingyun felt that it was still worth trying. The crisis of the Star Sea Monster Tide 5 years later is unavoidable. Since we want to improve our strength and gain greater hope of survival. Then, refining the Earth Elemental puppet for strengthening is a good choice. In the next few days, Chen Qingyun gradually became busy. In addition to guarding the mines every day and practicing the 5 elements puppetry, he began to study the knowledge of weapon refining in depth. It is worth mentioning that there are 3 books on weapon refining taught by Chen Daoran. They are initial interpretation of weapon refining. Refining Notes. First level, Weapon Refining Beginner's Guide. All these require Chen Qingyun to read and study carefully. As early as 3 years ago, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun were cultivated by the family and learned the art of weapon refining from Chen Daoran, which cost the family a lot of money. The 2 of them also cherished this opportunity very much. Fortunately, these 3 years of hard work have not been in vain. Chen Qingyun achieved success a year ago and successfully refined a first-level low-grade magic weapon, becoming a first-level weapon refiner. The family agreed that she should manage the hematite mining, and that was because she was a refiner. She knows how to mine hematite efficiently and even refine magic weapons on the spot. As for Chen Qingyun, his weapon refining qualifications are actually worse than Chen Qingyun. But 3 years of systematic study have allowed Chen Qingyun to step into the threshold of a first-level weapon refiner. These next few days, he repeatedly referred to the weapon refining notes left by Chen Daoran and summed up some insights in his mind. I'm ready to try refining a first-level magic weapon. With Chen Qingyun here, he can be regarded as having a master to guide him. In addition, about the practice of 5 elements puppetry. It is worth mentioning that the practice of the earth element exercises in it is not difficult. The place where it wants to practice is except for the control of basic earth magic. More importantly, it is the control of earth puppets. To sum up, it is equivalent to an instruction manual for refining and controlling earth puppets. Chen Qingyun spent 6 days and finally mastered the earth element technique. and was now able to try to refine an earth element puppet. Just do it. You want to refine the earth elemental puppet? In the small wooden pavilion in the attic, Chen Qingyun's expression changed slightly when he learned of Chen Qingyun's thoughts. Chen Qingyun mastered refining and controlling the 5 elements puppetry so quickly, which was somewhat beyond her expectations. It took her a full month to master it. Well, yes. I wonder if Fifth Sister has any extra red iron here. I want to buy some for refining the first earth puppet. Chen Qingyun was a little impatient, but his expression remained calm. He couldn't wait any longer. Qingyun, refining this earth elemental puppet will consume a trace of spiritual thoughts. You also know the importance of spiritual thoughts to monks. Chen Qingyun looked serious and asked, have you thought about it clearly? I've thought about it clearly. I want to try it. Chen Qingyun nodded solemnly. The existence of Goldfinger made it impossible for him to ignore the existence of Tushing puppet. I must give it a try and refine one to give it a try. Here Chen Qingyun's answer. Anticipating that Chen Qingyun would reach this point, but it was earlier than expected, Chen Qingyun was silent for a moment, and then nodded slowly. Now that you've thought about it clearly, just go ahead and do it. In a person's life, there will be many things that he did not do at the beginning and regretted after many years. I hope you will not leave any regrets. Speaking of this, a look of sadness appeared on Chen Qingyun's face, as if he had thought of something and lowered his head. Chapter 10, Puppet Training and Surprises. But Chen Qingyun quickly regained his composure, raised his head and continued, in terms of materials for making earth puppets, hematite can meet the requirements. The family sent you to guard this place, and also told you that you can receive 10 pieces of red iron as a reward every month, right? Yes. Well, although the collection deadline this month has not yet come, I can make an exception and let you receive 3 pieces of red iron first. The words fell. Chen Qingyun wiped her hand across a storage bag on her waist, took out 3 pieces of hematite, and placed them in front of Chen Qingyun. The 3 pieces of hematite are about the size of a fist, irregular in shape, and red in color, containing the power of the earth attribute. Judging from the quality, the 3 pieces of hematite are all of high quality. When Chen Qingyun made the selection, he obviously put his heart into it and selected 3 pieces of excellent quality for Chen Qingyun. Seeing hematite, Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up and he was not polite, and even put it in the storage bag. At this time, Chen Qingyun spoke again. If the 5 elements puppet technique does not lack the other 4 elements techniques, we can also refine puppets with other attributes. There was no trace of regret in her words. Obviously, she is also very interested in other 4 elements exercises. When Chen Qingyun heard this, he nodded secretly. Really? The other 4 lines of puppets all have their own merits and are remarkable. It's a pity. Where can I find the 4 elements kung fu? When it came to the other 4 exercises, both of them felt a little regretful. Chen Qingyun did not hide the origin of the 5 elements puppetry. She told Chen Qingyun that she got it from the clan leader Chen Xianming after she asked Ying to stay on Zhenhai Island to manage the hematite mining. It was awarded by Chen Xianming. Regarding the following 4 attribute techniques, if there are still any, I need to ask the clan leader in the future. The clan leader still has such skills. It seems that I will have to ask the clan leader about it in the future. With a murmur in his mind, Chen Qingyun finally began to ask for advice, asking for some experience in refining earth puppets. Chen Qingyun knew everything about this and answered very carefully. The two talked over a cup of tea. Until the end of the discussion, Chen Qingyun did not forget to warn him. If you still don't understand anything during the refining process, you can come back and ask me at any time. 3 pieces of red iron are enough for you to refine 2 earth puppets. But my suggestion is that you can refine just 1, and don't recklessly refine the second one. Chen Qingyun also gave this a kind reminder. After all, it was quite difficult for her to create an earth puppet when she separated out a ray of divine will. She has not yet recovered the lost ray of divine will. Chen Qingyun naturally knows the importance of spiritual thoughts to monks. Never waste too much spiritual energy just because of temporary gains. Okay, fifth sister. In the next few days, Chen Qingyun was immersed in the making of the 5 elements puppet. It is not difficult to make an earth element puppet. You only need to use a piece of hematite to create the earth element origin of the puppet, which is the core. Then, add some other earth attribute materials to condense them to create a body. As for power, injecting mana is the driving force of the puppet. I asked Chen Qingyun for advice. Chen Qingyun followed suit and refined it quickly. On the afternoon of the 5th day, a fist-sized piece of earth element emitting bronze light was suspended in front of him, rising and falling slightly. The origin of the earth element was successfully refined. Next, a ray of spiritual thought was separated and integrated into it. Chen Qingyun did not dare to take this most critical step lightly. As a ray of spiritual thought was drawn out from his soul, Chen Qingyun felt a huge sense of exhaustion all over his body, and his face turned a little pale. It was just after the divine thoughts merged into the origin of earth element. The source of light flashed, and waves of law patterns rippled out. Chen Qingyun suddenly felt that he and the other party had established a blood connection and a very close feeling. It seems that the other person is a part of his body and can be manipulated at will. This feeling is very subtle. At this point in the refining process, the last step is to shape the puppet into a body. This step is very simple. Looking at the rocks that had been prepared beside him, Chen Qingyun had a thought in his mind. All of a sudden, these rocks were all attracted by the origin of the earth element in the mouth. Under Chen Qingyun's gaze, he quickly wrapped up the earth element's origin layer by layer and condensed it into a humanoid body. At this step, if you want to gather other biological forms, it is naturally feasible. It can be freely created according to the owner's wishes. Chen Qingyun has had a mecha dream since he was a child. So the first puppet was simply made in human form. Its image is that of a simple robot. It is tall and looks a bit majestic. Shaping completed. Chen Qingyun tried to control the puppet, giving commands such as squatting, serving tea, and closing the door. It did everything right and was very obedient. The puppet's body is condensed from mountain rocks. It only has the most basic defense power. In terms of strength, it is indeed at the first level of chi refining. The control range will fail if it exceeds 100 feet, and the control distance is also a little smaller. After many manipulations, Chen Qingyun took out the green light sword, without mobilizing his magic power, and gently drew the sword towards the puppet's right arm. This stroke left a shallow mark on the puppet's body. Obviously, Shanshai's defense is still not good. If this is used in a fight with a monk, it will definitely be stabbed into a sieve by the opponent's flying sword. It will be necessary to replace it with stronger earth attribute materials later. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun thought of the family. For example, the family has an industry for refining water and fire robes. In the future, it is possible to equip the puppet with magic tools such as water and fire robes, or offensive magic tools, to improve combat effectiveness. This is a good idea. What we need to do now is to try to strengthen the puppet. Whether it can be strengthened, we will know after trying. Chen Qingyun put his palm on the arm of the earth puppet, and felt a chill. When the idea of trying to decompose and strengthen came to mind, the voice of the system rang. Magic tools detected. Do you want to decompose? Magic tools detected. Do you want to strengthen? Hearing the voice in his mind, Chen Qingyun was secretly ecstatic. The puppet can be strengthened. Then pay attention to the magic tools he has now, a green light sword and a flying cloud boat. These two magic tools, the former need not be said much. Once decomposed, there will be no weapon to use. The latter was given by the clan leader for convenient travel. Even at a critical moment, it can be used as a capital for escaping, so it cannot be decomposed blindly. In this way, there is no magic weapon to decompose for the time being. You have to get a new magic weapon. Now the attainment of refining is still shallow, and I can't refine a magic weapon. Chen Qingyun thought about it. More than 3,000 miles away from Zhenhai Island, there is a Xinglan market. There are naturally magic weapons for sale in the market. Thinking of this, Chen Qingyun checked the storage bag. After counting, there are 341 spiritual stones accumulated in the past 10 years, which can buy 2 first-level medium-quality magic weapons. However, it is obviously not worth using all the family property to buy 2 magic weapons. Instead of buying magic weapons, it is better to work hard to refine them yourself. Chapter 11, Refining from the Flying Sword. Finally, after thinking about it, Chen Qingyun smiled self-deprecatingly. The second elder taught me the way of refining weapons. Isn't it because he hopes that I can become a weapon refiner? This is also the mining site of hematite. With ready-made refining materials, I can really try to refine magic weapons myself. Thinking that this is hematite, which can produce refining materials, Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up slightly. Let's talk about the hematite in his hand. At the beginning, when he attended the family meeting, Chen Xianming mentioned hematite and gave each clan member present a piece of hematite. In addition to the 3 pieces that Chen Qingyun had given before. In the past few days, 1 piece was consumed in refining the earth puppet, so now, there are still 3 pieces of hematite in hand. 3 pieces of hematite are enough for refining magic weapons. After making up his mind, Chen Qingyun stretched out his palm and his mind moved. The earth puppet in front of him flashed with light, shrank to the size of 3 fingers, and jumped to the palm of Chen Qingyun, which was very mini. Collect. The puppet flew into the storage bag. On the 3rd day after refining the earth puppet, Chen Qingyun came to inquire about the refining results. When he learned that it was successful, Chen Qingyun nodded slightly. Although this puppet is not difficult to refine, it not only consumes divine thoughts, but also the puppet's strength is a bit weak, so it can only be used to deal with low-level monsters such as the fire cloud lizard. If it were other opponents, we would have to rely on ourselves. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun nodded without comment. The 2 chatted for a while. Immediately, Chen Qingyun brought up the business and talked about the fire cloud lizard. After my investigation these days, these fire cloud lizards seem to come from the island. During the days when you refined the earth puppet, a fire cloud lizard appeared in the mine again. But, fortunately, the appearance of this fire cloud lizard did not cause casualties, and it has been cleared by me. Hearing that the fire cloud lizard appeared again in the mine, Chen Qingyun frowned slightly. The first time a fire cloud lizard appeared, it felt very strange. This second time a fire cloud lizard appeared, it means that there may be a fire cloud lizard nest on this island. If so, this is a big deal. If it is not cleaned up, it will inevitably be a huge hidden danger. No one can guarantee that these fire cloud lizards will appear again one day and harm the Chen family mortals here in the mine. In front of the monster, those mortals have no power to fight back. Although I haven't found the nest of this fire cloud lizard yet, I estimate that there may be more fire cloud lizards here in the next few days. Chen Qingyun said. The area of Zhenhai Island is not small, and it is located in mountains, rivers, plains and hills, and the terrain is open. According to Chen Qingyun's strength, if she wants to carefully explore the entire island, it will take several months. But it doesn't mean that Chen Qingyun won't do it. She won't retreat when she encounters difficulties. What's more, it just takes more time to find the traces of the fire cloud lizards. Find their nests. After learning about Chen Qingyun's plan, Chen Qingyun had no objection. Where there is a will, there is a way. Finding the remaining fire cloud lizards on the island and destroying them is not a difficult task. With myself and my 5th sister here, there is no need to trouble the family to come to help. This is also an opportunity to exercise myself. After the 2 discussed for a few words, Chen Qingyun thought about it and proposed the idea of refining magic tools. Qingyun, you are finally willing to refine magic tools. Chen Qingyun smiled and said, with your current refining attainments, you can try to refine the first magic tool. If you encounter any puzzles, you can come and ask me. As long as I know, I will tell you. Chen Qingyun was very happy to learn about Chen Qingyun's idea. She also hopes that the family can add a new refiner. 3 years ago. Learn the way of refining with Chen Qingyun, receive the teachings of Chen Daoran and the training of the family. Chen Qingyun has a better talent for refining. As her grandfather, Chen Daoran occasionally gave his granddaughter a little extra training, which made Chen Qingyun's weapon refining attainments develop rapidly. Chen Qingyun also learned faster than Chen Qingyun because of this. She entered the ranks of weapon refiners one step ahead and became a first-level lower-grade weapon refiner. Chen Qingyun herself knew that she could achieve such achievements now. She was more or less influenced by her grandfather. So she now wanted to guide Chen Qingyun in weapon refining. She gave Chen Qingyun the favor that Chen Daoren had shown her, the special training he had given her, and the teaching of weapon refining. She came to give Chen Qingyun a special training. With the words of the fifth sister, "I can go ahead and refine with confidence," Chen Qingyun said, and began to ask about the matters of refining the first-level lower-grade magic weapon. Which kind of magic weapon is better to refine for the first time? I started by refining flying swords. Flying swords are not only easy to shape and inscribe, but also the most practical and widely circulated among all kinds of magic tools. Why don't you start by refining flying swords first? That's right. I will also be refining magic tools in the near future. You can come and watch. I will take you to get familiar with the earth fire room here, Chen Qingyun suggested. Okay, then start with refining flying swords. Thank you, fifth sister. The two reached a consensus. Next, Chen Qingyun carefully told him what to pay attention to when refining magic tools for the first time. How to smelt and fuse the refining materials. Then how to shape them. To the final engraving array. The refining of magic tools consists of 4 steps: smelting, fusion, shaping, and inscription. Each step is closely linked and cannot be sloppy. Chen Qingyun herself, the first magic tool she refined was the black iron sword. This time, she suggested that Chen Qingyun use hematite as the raw material to refine the hematite sword. Because of the period of managing the mine, Chen Qingyun also served as the family's magic tool refining. She has refined more than 10 hematite swords from the hematite ore she mined. One is to use local materials. Another point is that she knows how to refine hematite swords and can teach them step by step. With such a good opportunity in front of her, Chen Qingyun immediately agreed to the proposal of the fifth sister. In the next 10 days, Chen Qingyun conducted a refining. She complied with the latest requirements from the family and started to refine a batch of hematite swords to relieve Chen Daoren's worries. Chen Daoren currently has more important magical instruments to refine, and will not spend too much time refining the first-grade inferior red iron sword. Therefore, the task of refining the red iron sword fell on Chen Qingyun. During these 10 days, at Chen Qingyun's invitation, Chen Qingyun began to observe her refining. In order to facilitate refining, the family built a ground fire room on Zhenhai Island and laid a set of flame formations. The refiner can inject mana into the formation, activate the formation, and control the temperature of the ground fire to meet the needs of refining. The ground fire here was also born from Zhenhai Island. At the beginning, when the ground fire was discovered on the island, Chen Daoren and others tried to find the origin of the ground fire and where it came from. Chapter 12 Observation and Learning. After some exploration, Chen Daoren and others did not find any results. This underground fire seemed to appear out of thin air, and no one could find its source. The family monks explored here to no avail, and when they were impressed by the wonders of nature, they simply used this underground fire to build an underground fire room for refining. Entering the underground fire room, Chen Qingyun was full of interest. Chen Qingyun introduced the facilities here, how to control the formation, and control the temperature of the underground fire. At the same time, he explained the usage of some refining materials around. In this way, after a brief introduction, Chen Qingyun began to refine the red iron sword. In the next few days, Chen Qingyun watched the whole process. From time to time, he would try to melt some materials, try to adjust the temperature of the underground fire through the formation, and constantly accumulate experience. The whole process of observation and learning lasted for 10 days. Chen Qingyun benefited a lot, and was eager to start refining by himself. Chen Qingyun refined 16 red iron swords, with a yield rate of about 70%. Chen Qingyun didn't know what the yield rate would be. With Chen Qingyun's guidance, he could just try boldly and refine it. Chen Qingyun was already familiar with this earth-fire room. He also had a clear understanding of the control of the formation. Qingyun, you try it next. At Chen Qingyun's invitation, Chen Qingyun took a deep breath and began to refine the red iron sword himself. He took out 3 pieces of red iron and placed them aside. He injected mana into the formation, controlled the earth fire to a suitable temperature, and released a raging fire. Chen Qingyun looked serious. Before, he watched Chen Qingyun refine the weapon without doing it himself. Now, he was refining it himself, and Chen Qingyun felt a little nervous. Chen Qingyun was silent on the side, paying attention to Chen Qingyun's actions. Chen Qingyun had watched the refining of the red iron sword many times and was familiar with all the processes. Without her speaking, Chen Qingyun knew how to refine it. However, whether a red iron sword could be refined in one go depended on Chen Qingyun's comprehension ability. When the earth fire reached a smelting temperature, Chen Qingyun used his magic power, holding a piece of red iron, flew into the earth fire, and began the first step of smelting. This step seemed simple, but it required controlling the temperature of the flame to achieve a smelting temperature, and the red iron could not be over-melted. Otherwise, it would damage the power in the red iron. The red iron was burned by the earth fire, and the color gradually turned deep red. It took more than an hour for the red iron to finally melt and be smelted into a ball of liquid metal. In addition, it is also necessary to smelt the 100 refined steel and fuse it with the red iron metal liquid to play a consolidating role. The red iron sword made in this way will also become harder and more wear resistant, and can improve toughness. Strictly speaking, 100 refined steel is not a first-level refining material, and cultivators can buy it with real gold and silver. Real gold and silver are easy to obtain for cultivators, and are not valuable. This underground fire room stores a large amount of 100 refined steel. Chen Qingyun used his magic power to lift a piece of 100 refined steel from the shelf and put it into the flame. Compared with red iron, 100 refined steel is easy to melt and belongs to ordinary iron. It only took about a cup of tea for the 100 refined steel to be melted into liquid metal. The first step of smelting is completed. The second step is fusion. Fuse the 2 liquid metals together. This step is not very difficult. Chen Qingyun observed and learned many times, and soon completed the fusion process. So that the third step is shaping the liquid metal into the shape of a flying sword. This step, Chen Qingyun just spent some more time to shape it. A flying sword appeared, 3 feet long, red all over, and still in a high-temperature state. After completing 3 steps in a row, only the last step of engraving the formation remained, and Chen Qingyun's expression became more solemn. This is the most difficult and most critical step. Only when the formation is engraved in the flying sword can the effect of storing power and controlling it be achieved. This is the difference between ordinary weapons and magic weapons. A weapon without an inscription formation, no matter how hard it is or what material it is made of. But without an inscription formation, it does not have spiritual power and cannot be controlled by cultivators. It can only be regarded as an ordinary weapon. Only weapons with inscription formations can be called magic weapons. The red iron sword has 2 layers of formation patterns. When observing Chen Qingyun refining the weapon, Chen Qingyun once emphasized that this step must be very careful and not be sloppy. Once there is an error in the inscription formation, it will not be possible to erase the formation pattern and perform the second inscription formation. The refining will also be declared a failure. Chen Qingyun took a deep breath, constantly recalling the steps of Chen Qingyun's engraving array, engraving the array pattern bit by bit. Chen Qingyun, who was standing by, did not speak when seeing this, but watched quietly, not daring to disturb Chen Qingyun. As time passed, when engraving the second layer of array pattern, Chen Qingyun's engraving technique still had problems. There was an error in the engraving of the array pattern, and the divine thought was not in place, which made the unformed array pattern dim and lost its charm. It's a pity, I was too eager to succeed, and the divine thought control was still not accurate enough. Seeing the array pattern lose its luster, Chen Qingyun smiled bitterly and felt it was a pity. When you engraved the second array pattern to the 4th step, you still didn't control your mind. Next time you reach this step, You might as well slow down a little and don't be too impatient. Chen Qingyun's voice sounded very gentle, telling where the mistake was. Qingyun, this is the first time you refine it. You can do this step of engraving the array, and you are almost successful. You have done very well. I was far inferior to you when I refined it for the first time. She comforted him. No matter how powerful the refiner is, he can't guarantee that every refining will be successful. You should summarize your experience this time and do it well next time. Adjust your mentality and do the second refining. Chen Qingyun smiled when he heard it, and he was not discouraged. Putting the abandoned broken sword aside, Chen Qingyun calmed down and started the second refining. Although there are still 2 pieces of red iron, he doesn't want to fail again. From smelting, to fusion, to shaping, the first 3 steps were still passed smoothly. Once again reached the stage of inscription. This time, Chen Qingyun's movements were more skillful and his techniques were more stable. Time passed bit by bit. From the first array pattern taking shape to the second array pattern being successfully inscribed, Chen Qingyun was completely immersed in the whole process. He finally successfully inscribed the 2 layers of array patterns on the red iron sword. The 2 layers of array patterns flashed with light and hid in the sword embryo, activating this magic weapon. A flying sword was suspended in the flames, emitting a hazy glow and became the focus. Is the refining successful? Chen Qingyun's eyes condensed, and his sight fell firmly on the flying sword. Chapter 13 Strengthening the Puppet. Success. Chen Qingyun's surprised voice came. After just 2 refining attempts, he successfully refined the red iron sword. She was surprised by Chen Qingyun's achievement and couldn't help showing admiration. This is the first magic weapon I refined. Chen Qingyun also showed joy. The success of refining this red iron sword means that he can produce his own magic weapons in the future and officially become an weapon refiner. Whether it is refining magic weapons and selling them in the future to earn spiritual stones. Or use it for yourself, this can bring great benefits. This family mission has only been here for less than 2 months, and we have already achieved such results. This line of work is worth it. Be patient with your inner joy and lower the temperature of the earth fire. After the red iron sword gradually cooled down, Chen Qingyun reached out and took the flying sword in his hand. Feeling the fullness and weight brought by the flying sword, Chen Qingyun showed a satisfied look. A magic weapon has been detected. Will it be decomposed? There was a voice in my head. The system's questioning sounded, proving once again that the red iron sword was successfully refined. I finally became a weapon refiner. After completing the refining of a black iron sword, there was still a piece of red iron left. After thinking about it, Chen Qingyun simply refined it as well. This third refining went smoothly. In this day, Chen Qingyun refined 2 red iron swords. This has made Chen Qingyun ready to try to strengthen the earth puppet. Great, Qingyun. Now that you have become a weapon refiner, my grandfather and family will be very happy when they find out. Our Chen family finally has a new weapon refiner. Chen Qingyun did not hide the happy look on her face. This refining was very fruitful for both Chen Qingyun and her. One is that her step-by-step guidance these days has not been in vain. Second, the family finally gave birth to a third weapon refiner, which is something to be happy about. If it weren't for Fifth Sister's careful teachings, how could I have refined this red iron sword? I will also need to consult you when refining magic weapons in the future. Chen Qingyun said modestly. Sure. Chen Qingyun nodded. This red iron sword has been refined. I will inform the family first and send someone to collect it as soon as possible. The refining task assigned by the family has been completed. Chen Qingyun took out the communication flying sword and contacted the family. These red iron swords will be sold in the surrounding Zhuxiantu market in the near future to earn spiritual stones for the family. With excitement, after saying goodbye to Chen Qingyun temporarily, Chen Qingyun quickly returned to the room. He took out 2 red iron swords and also took out the 2 Qing puppet. After the earth puppet appeared, the light flashed and transformed into the size of a person, standing in front of Chen Qingyun. Break down. Chen Qingyun grabbed the red iron sword and gave the order. The red iron sword rose up with light and disappeared into a rain of light. Strengthening point +1 after decomposition. A prompt sounded. Chen Qingyun clicked on the system panel. Turquoise antique panel display. Green light sword. First level mid-grade Fianzu. First order low-grade earth puppet. First level low-grade strengthening points. 1. Looking at the data on the panel, the Tu Xing puppet was also among them. Can be strengthened. Chen Qingyun looked expectant, and immediately reached out and grabbed the Tu Xing puppet. Strengthen it. As soon as the order was given, changes appeared on the earth elemental puppet. There was a burst of golden light shining brightly, and the aura was rising. Immediately, as the light faded, the earth puppet returned to its normal appearance. The difference is that Chen Qingyun can detect changes in the aura of the Tu Xing puppet by carefully sensing it. From having no sense of existence at first, to now, it actually brings a sense of oppression. It seemed that the person standing in front of him was a powerful monk. This breath has actually reached the 3rd level of Qi refining. After detecting the current strength of the puppet's cultivation, Chen Qingyun's face was filled with ecstasy, and a light of excitement emerged in his eyes. The earth elemental puppet was originally only at the 1st level of Qi training, and could not be refining to upgrade its combat effectiveness. A puppet of this level is indeed unrivaled for mortals. Even secular warriors can be easily crushed and beaten until the opponent is unable to fight back. It is not a being of the same magnitude. However, for monks, the 1st level of Qi training seems very weak. If a battle breaks out between the monks, the earthly puppet will undoubtedly become cannon fodder and will have no effect at all. As Chen Qingyun said, its function is to assist in mining of mineral veins, and its capabilities are very limited. For example, Chen Qingyun could easily kill this earth-moving puppet by himself. This is the weakness of the earth elemental puppet. But now, through strengthening, the puppet's strength has been improved, and it has been promoted to the 3rd level of Qi refining in one fell swoop. This is amazing. If it continues to be strengthened, wouldn't the puppet's strength be able to continue to improve? The changes brought about by these enhancements made Chen Qingyun's eyes sparkle. Strengthen. Keep trying to strengthen it. He simply disassembled the remaining hematite sword. With the existence of the green light sword, the red iron sword is not very useful to itself. Moreover, at the end of the month, after receiving the reward, you can continue to refine the red iron sword. The red iron sword turned into light and disappeared, being instantly decomposed. Strengthening point +1 strengthening point changed from 0 to 1. Chen Qingyun grabbed the puppet's arm again and tried to strengthen it again. Not enough strengthening points, can't strengthen. This time, such a prompt sounded. 1 point of strengthening can't strengthen the puppet to the 1st grade upper grade. Chen Qingyun was stunned and muttered to himself. After thinking about it, he took out the Qingguang sword and tried to strengthen the Qingguang sword. Not enough strengthening points, can't strengthen. Like before, such a prompt popped up. Obviously, if you want to strengthen the 1st grade middle grade magic weapon, 1 point of strengthening is not enough. How many points of strengthening points are needed? This also needs to be explored. After a while of silence, Chen Qingyun put away the earth puppet and the Qingguang sword. You have to continue to gain strengthening points. Now that it has been verified that the earth puppet can be strengthened, you have to think about the next development. The time you come to Zhenhai Island needs to be used well, and you must not waste time. First of all, let's talk about refining. We must continue to learn the art of refining. If we can refine better and higher grade magic weapons to strengthen it, we don't need to start from the most basic 1st grade lower grade, which can save strengthening points. The better the refining technique, the different the status and position we can enjoy. Therefore, we need to continue to learn refining, which is the key point. Then, it's the cultivation. No matter how strong this puppet is, it is just an external object after all. If the enemy sees the clues, as long as they kill me, the puppet will become a masterless object and lose its function no matter how strong it is. Chen Qingyun thought secretly and realized his own shortcomings. No matter what, Cultivation must not be left behind. Chapter 14 Family Visitors. I need to improve my own strength quickly and strive to reach the 6th level of Qi refining in the near future. Finally, it is about upgrading the earth puppet. During the 3 years of guarding the mine, I can learn to refine weapons without affecting my practice. Most of the magic weapons I have refined can be used to decompose and strengthen the Qingguang sword and the earth puppet. As a flying sword, the Qingguang sword is also the main weapon used in battle, so the stronger it is, the better. As for the earth puppet, I can refine several more and form a puppet team, so as to improve the overall combat effectiveness with the advantage of numbers. Even these puppets can be controlled to arrange formations to fight against the enemy, which has a wide range of uses. I have plenty of time in the past 3 years of guarding the mine. I still focus on cultivation and learn the art of refining as a supplement. At the same time, I refine a large number of red iron swords to decompose the strengthening points for strengthening the magic weapon. As for the problem of loss of divine consciousness, I will find time to return to the family after a while and ask the clan leader about the other 4 exercises of the 5 elements puppetry technique. By the way, let's see if there are any spiritual cultivation exercises. After thinking carefully for a while, Chen Qingyun had a clear plan for future cultivation. Facing the star sea monster tide 5 years later, that kind of life and death crisis, every day of the present cannot be wasted. Don't think that 5 years is a long time. For cultivators, retreating to break through the bottleneck of cultivation will often take a year or 2. 5 years is just a blink of an eye. In these 5 years, you must seize the time to practice and work hard to improve your strength. In this way, you will get a glimmer of hope in the demon battlefield. You will also have the ability to protect your clansmen. The next day. After receiving Chen Qingyun's message, the family sent people to Zhenhai Island in the morning. Accompanied by Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun opened the island formation. Outside the formation, 3 cultivators were waiting early. When they saw Chen Qingyun and the other person coming out to greet them, one of them laughed immediately. Qingyun, you are finally here. The one who spoke was Chen Qingyun. The other 2 were an old man and a middle-aged man. The old man looked to be in his 60s or 70s, with gray hair and a hint of majesty on his face. This man belonged to the Dao generation of the Chen family, named Chen Douhai. He was the 6th grandfather of Qingyun and Qingyun, the 4th elder of the Chen family, and had the 8th level of Qi refining. The middle-aged man next to Chen Douhai was named Chen Qingzi, a cultivator of the Chang generation of the Chen family, and ranked 4th among the Chang generation. It is worth mentioning that Chen Qingzi's cultivation was lower than Chen Qingyun's, at the 3rd level of Qi refining. The 3 were assigned by the family to collect the red iron sword and take the spiritual ore produced this month back to the family. Because it was a matter of great importance involving magic tools and spiritual ore, it was a great fortune for the small Chen family. So the family did not dare to be careless and sent Chen Douhai to lead the way. There were many bandits in the inner sea, and they often robbed monks. It was not unreasonable for the Chen family to be so vigilant. After all, it is better to be safe than sorry. 4th uncle. As soon as he heard the laughter, Chen Qingyun recognized that it was his 4th uncle Chen Qingyun, and couldn't help but smile. 4th uncle. Chen Qingyun also greeted his 4th uncle, looking at Chen Douhai and Chen Qingzi. 6th grandpa, 7th uncle. As Chen Qingyun greeted him, Chen Qingyun also greeted him. In the family, he and Chen Qingyun were of the same generation, so there was no problem in greeting the elders of the family, and he would not call them wrong. He had met Chen Douhai and Chen Qingyun before at a family meeting. When he saw Chen Douhai again this time, he felt that he looked a little older. As a Dao generation cultivator of the Chen family, Chen Douhai had witnessed the family's development for decades, worked diligently for the family, and made a lot of sacrifices. Although he had 3 sons and 1 daughter, they were all without spiritual roots and were sent to live in mortal towns, which made him practice with all his heart and work hard. Unfortunately, the Chen family was not capable enough at that time to provide him with a foundation building pill. Without a foundation building pill to assist in foundation building, warming the Dao body, and harmonizing the true essence, it would be extremely difficult to build a foundation. Chen Douhai also knew that it was not easy for the family and knew the difficulties of the family. So, he simply gave up the idea of building a foundation, and worked hard for the family and instructed the descendants of the family to practice. Chen Qingyun, like several other Qing generation cultivators, had been guided by this sixth grandfather in practice. It can be said that this is an elder who has taught them. Qingyun, I haven't seen you for a few years. You have grown up so much. It's time for you to contribute to the family. Time flies so fast. Chen Qingzi smiled, with a hint of tenderness in his eyes. Time flies. The little baby who used to cry for food in his arms has now grown up, and it's time for him to share the worries and contribute to the family. Looking at Chen Qingyun's cultivation, he is even stronger than himself. This makes Chen Qingzi sigh in his heart that time is not forgiving. When he was young, he took the wrong path and wasted more than 40 years. He is not as good as his nephew in cultivation. It is true that the waves behind push the waves ahead. Fourth, uncle, you are here to collect the red iron sword this time? Chen Qingyun asked with a smile. The family sent 3 cultivators this time, led by the 6th elder, and it seems that they attach great importance to this line. Yes, I received a message from King Yan yesterday that a batch of hematite swords have been refined. It just so happens that we are here this time to bring the recently mined hematite back to the family. Chen Douhai said with a friendly look on his face and glanced at Chen Qingyun. At the beginning, King Yan wanted to guard this mine on her own. I opposed it and told her to stay in the family and practice well. But she has a strong temper, and no matter how hard we try to dissuade her, she can't dissuade her from something she believes in. Now, fortunately, with your help, she also has care here, so she won't feel lonely and homesick when she is alone outside. Chen Douhai's words made Chen Qingyun smile slightly. The reason why she left the family and took over the mining of hematite was because she thought that if she continued to practice in the family, she would become a flower in the greenhouse in the long run. There will be a lack of experience, a lack of mental tempering, and a lack of experience. It just so happened that this place could satisfy her in-depth knowledge of weapon refining. No matter how you think about it, it is beneficial to yourself and can help the family. Therefore, instead of staying in the family to practice for a few years, and then being persuaded by the family to marry him as a wife, it is better to go out and make a career on his own. I am still young, and I don't want to become a woman early. Chen Qingyun knew this very well, but he didn't say it out loud. I am here, and I will still need 5th sister's care from now on. Chen Qingyun glanced sideways at Chen Qingyun. These days, I get along very harmoniously with 5th sister, and there are no barriers or quarrels. Each other is busy doing their own thing when they are busy, and when it is time to contribute, they will take the initiative to contribute. Okay, 4th uncle, come with us. After a few brief conversations, Chen Qingyun immediately led a few people into Zhenhai Island. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Agreement. This is the second time for Chen Douhai and the others to come to Zhenhai Island. I visited this vein earlier. This time I did not wander around the island, but went directly to the storage room. So much. The amount of hematite this month is much more than last month. The production capacity of the ore veins is gradually increasing. Chen Douhai looked at the ore in front of him and almost smiled. Chen Qingfeng also looked happy. Ha ha ha, not just this month, next month, the next month, and the next few years, the production capacity of the mine will be higher and higher. It's thanks to Qingyun's niece that she discovered this hematite mine, which greatly increased the family's income. Several people looked at the hematite in front of them and felt very happy in their hearts. Chen Douhai made a preliminary estimate and found that the value of these hematite ores was equivalent to about 500 spirit stones. This is still 1 month's mining volume. After 1 year of mining, The economic income brought by hematite is at least 6,000 spirit stones. Such a high annual income was something the Chen family had never dared to imagine. King Yan, the clan leader, and I have been discussing recently and have reached a conclusion on the ownership of the interests of this mine. I'm here this time to inform you of the outcome of the discussion. When Chen Dohai said this, he looked at Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingzi beside him. The three elders all showed serious expressions. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun also listened carefully. Chen Qingyun hummed and listened quietly. The family rules require clan members to report mineral veins discovered outside to the family, no matter how big or small. As long as the family starts mining the mineral veins, the clan member can obtain 20% of the profits from the mining of the mineral veins. This 20% profit will continue until the day the mineral veins are exhausted. So, both you and your descendants are eligible to enjoy this dividend. Chen Dohai told such a clan rule. The Chen family is very clear about this clan rule and understands the family's intention of doing this. After all, if the clan members discovered mineral veins outside, it would be difficult for them to mine them privately. If not, it might attract the covetousness of monks and forces, and his life would be in vain. The appearance of a mineral vein is so attractive that it is no different from a child walking through a busy city holding a gold nugget. And reporting the mineral veins to the family, who will guard and mine them, provides a guarantee. In order to encourage the clan members and satisfy the interests of the clan members, the family set such a clan rule. When Chen Qingyun first discovered hematite, he also considered that he was unable to defend this treasure due to his lack of ability. She immediately reported the hematite to the family and asked the family to come forward. As for the follow-up, it makes sense for her to manage the mining of the mineral veins. Hearing Chen Dohai say this, Chen Qingyun's eyes showed a trace of envy. For now, Chen Qingyun can harvest 20% of the total revenue from future mining. Moreover, this income will continue until the day when the mineral veins are exhausted. This is equivalent to sitting back and enjoying the share of shares, and you will receive spiritual stones while sleeping. Who wouldn't be tempted by this? Back then, when Chen Qingyun discovered hematite and reported it to his family, many clan members were moved by this and felt envious. Some young tribesmen even hurriedly left the tribe to gain experience, hoping to have such great luck and discover a mineral vein or something. However, this does not mean that you can encounter it when you encounter it. They don't have such a good opportunity as Chen Qingyun. Well, I know the family rules. Chen Qingyun asked. I wonder what the family's final intention is with this hematite agreement? Two-part income. Based on the monthly income of 500 spirit stones, she can get a monthly income share of 100 spirit stones. She can use the proceeds to honor her grandfather in the future. You can also give back to the family to a certain extent. It can also satisfy your daily practice. There is nothing dissatisfying about it. Qingyun, the result of our discussion this time will give you more than 20% of the income. Chen Dohai had a smile on his face. After discussing with the clan leader, we finally decided that since you are also willing to serve the family, leave the family and come to this remote place to manage the mining of mineral veins. So, the family decided to distribute another 10% of the proceeds to you. Speaking of this, Chen Dohai was also moved by it. In other words, adding the previous 20%, you can now get 30% of the income. Among them, the 10% of the increased income will be yours forever as long as you stay here and manage the mining of the mineral veins until the day they are exhausted. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Qingyun was secretly surprised. 30%, which increased to a monthly profit share of 150 spirit stones. This is very high. Think about the ore in front of you. This is only the amount of mining in 1 month. If things go on for a long time, it is estimated that the mining volume of this vein will be around 50 years. The amount of income that Chen Qingyun can obtain is definitely not small, which is enough to satisfy her future purchase of foundation establishment pills and many cultivation resources. Fifth sister, this is about to become prosperous. This matter has been concluded. This is an agreement. If you, my niece, have no objections, The family can sign it with you now. Chen Daoran took out a signed jade slip and handed it to Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun read the contents of the jade slip. All the terms are exactly as Chen Daohai said. Therefore, she had nothing to hesitate and nodded to sign. Okay. As per the family's wishes. 1 copy of this signed agreement was kept in the family, and this copy was handed over to her for safekeeping. After completing the signing of the agreement, Chen Daohai and the others began to collect the ores and store them into 2 storage bags. They asked about the current status of the mines and whether they had encountered any troublesome things. When away from home, report good news but not bad news. Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun did not mention some daily chores and hard work. Regarding the fire cloud lizard, Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun thought about it and told them the truth. There are also fire cloud lizards here. When Chen Daohai heard this, he pondered for a while and showed concern. The monster didn't hurt you anywhere, did it? Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun shook their heads. Hey, that's weird too. Chen Qingfeng was a little puzzled and said, why is there a fire cloud lizard here? When we were digging this mineral vein and setting up a large array around the island, we spent more than 10 days exploring all traces of monsters on the island. And all the monsters that needed to be cleaned were cleaned up. Is this fire cloud lizard missing? It shouldn't be. Several people discussed this matter. Finally, Chen Daohai spoke. It doesn't matter. The fire cloud lizard can only grow to the 4th level of qi refining at most. With Qingyun here to guard it, if there is another fire cloud lizard causing trouble in the future, Qingyun will be enough to deal with it. Speaking of this, he patted Chen Qingyun on the shoulder. You should also practice more and accumulate some combat experience, so that it can be put to some use in the Starsea Monster Tide 5 years from now. If this fire cloud lizard appears again in the future, I will trouble you to take action. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Daohai fumbled in his storage bag, took out a magic talisman and handed it to Chen Qingyun. I'll give this to you. Chapter 16. Blazing Sky Sword Talisman. 6th Grandpa, what is this? Looking at the talisman handed over by Chen Daohai, Chen Qingyun asked in confusion. Qingyun, you have grown up and can be independent. We have important things to do and cannot stay for a long time. This Zhenhai Island will rely more on you to guard it. Chen Daohai said with emotion, introducing the origin of the talisman in his hand. This is a first-class top-grade fiery sky sword talisman. 10 years ago, the clan leader saw me traveling outside and gave me 3 of them. Now there is only this one left. First-class, top-grade, fiery sky sword talisman. Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up slightly. I'll give this talisman to you today. It can be used to save your life at a critical moment, but I hope you will never need it. You keep it well. Handing over the fiery sky sword talisman, Chen Daohai turned around and walked towards the door of the storage room without waiting for Chen Qingyun's response. Without saying anything more. First class, high-quality talisman. Since it was given to you by your 6th grandfather, you should keep it. Chen Qingfeng, who was standing by, looked at Chen Qingyun with a smile, and said with some envy, and then followed Chen Daohai's steps. Haha. Just take it when I tell you to. Why are you being polite? We are all family. Chen Qingzi patted Chen Qingyun on the shoulder and said with a smile, family members should help each other, and only such a family can have cohesion. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun put away the fiery sky sword talisman. Compared with magic tools, talismans are disposable treasures, so their prices are naturally not as expensive as magic tools. For example, the price of a first-class low-quality talisman is 3 to 5 spirit stones, while the price of a magic tool of the same level is 50 spirit stones. The price of a first-class medium-quality talisman is between 15 and 25 spirit stones. The price of a first-class high-quality talisman is between 50 and 80 spirit stones. For a casual cultivator in the qi refining stage, 50 spirit stones are not a small amount, which is enough to rent a second-class spiritual vein cave in the market to practice for 10 years. Thank you, 6th Grandpa. Thinking of the price of talismans on the market, Chen Qingyun said gratefully, and then followed Chen Qingyun to send the three elders to the outside of the storage room. Okay, it's time for us to leave. Next, he put away the red iron and the red iron sword. Before leaving, Chen Qingyun did not forget to remind them. Qingyun, you stay here well, and tell your family if there is anything. In the past, only Chen Qingyun was guarding here, and they were always worried. Now, with Chen Qingyun's company, he is relieved. You should also practice well in your free time. You still have a long time in the future, don't waste your time like me. Chen Qingzi encouraged him, and then followed Chen Douhai and Chen Qingfen to leave Zhenhai Island and fly towards the family's ancestral land. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, more than half a month has passed. During this period, Chen Qingyun carefully read the refining books and notes left by Chen Daoren, and had a deeper understanding of refining. This day when Chen Qingyun was planning to refine the magic weapon, a miner suddenly stumbled to report in the attic where Chen Qingyun was, saying that a monster appeared in the mine. Monster? Chen Qingyun frowned when she heard it. Take me to see it. She took the miner with her, used the wind control technique, and flew in the direction indicated by the other party. Qingyun, come to the mine quickly, another monster appeared. At the same time, Chen Qingyun did not forget to send a message to Chen Qingyun. Hearing Chen Qingyun's message, Chen Qingyun's expression moved. The monster appeared again in this mine, which was unusual. He was entrusted by his family to guard Zhenhai Island. His main purpose was to guard this mine, so he would not sit idly by. With a thought, Chen Qingyun unfolded the light body technique and flew quickly towards the mine. When they arrived at the mine, Chen Qingyun soon joined Chen Qingyun and saw several monsters in the mine. Around the mine, several miners were running in panic. Facing the monsters, these mortals had no power to fight back, and naturally they were terrified. Sixth brother. Seeing Chen Qingyun coming, Chen Qingyun frowned and said, "It's the fire cloud lizard again." Chen Qingyun looked and saw 6 fire cloud lizards appearing not far away. The weakest one was at the first level of qi refining. The strongest one reached the 4th level of qi refining. The two siblings looked at each other, and Chen Qingyun sacrificed the Qingguang sword. A cold light flashed on the sword, and he directly slashed at a fire cloud lizard not far away, rescuing a miner who was being chased. Chen Qingyun also acted quickly, performing the firebomb technique to interfere with the 2 fire cloud lizards and cover the surrounding miners to retreat. As soon as the 2 of them attacked, the 3 miners here were immediately protected and ran away quickly, no longer threatened by the fire cloud lizard. Seeing that the miners were all safe and sound, Chen Qingyun sacrificed the earth puppet at this time. Go! She ordered the earth puppet to attack. With a loud bang. The earth puppet launched the earth escape technique and escaped into the ground in an instant. The target it attacked was a fire cloud lizard at the 2nd level of qi refining. The fire cloud lizard was baring its teeth and roaring at Chen Qingyun. The earth puppet held a long sword and rushed up from the ground. With a puff, a sword pierced the belly of the fire cloud lizard, and the other party let out a painful roar. A trace of bright red blood flowed out of its belly. This was a fatal blow. Chen Qingyun controlled the earth puppet and immediately killed a fire cloud. She was about to attack again, aiming at another fire cloud lizard of the 1st level of qi refining. At this moment, she saw a stream of green light flashing past her eyes. The green light sword slashed out for the 2nd time, turning into a stream of green light, and slashed at a fire cloud lizard at an extremely fast speed. This fire cloud lizard was 2 small realms away from Chen Qingyun. The green light sword was strengthened, and after it was upgraded to the 1st level middle grade, its power was even higher. The opponent stretched out his front paw, bursting out a fierce force, and slapped the green light sword with one paw. The result was that it underestimated the power of this sword. With a clang. The green light sword cut its front paw open with one sword, causing blood to flow. Chen Qingyun took advantage of the victory to attack, and controlled the green light sword to rotate in the air, dragging out a stream of green light. The flying sword showed its power again, aimed at the head of the fire cloud lizard, and slashed it fiercely with one sword. The fire cloud lizard has good defense, and its head is also covered with heavy armor. If you want to break this defense with a low-grade first-level Qingguang sword, it is obviously difficult to do it. But with a middle-grade first-level Qingguang sword, this is not a problem. The fire cloud lizard is very confident in its defense, and it does not believe that Chen Qingyun can break its defense. So much so that it has no intention of dodging. This time it suffered a loss. There was only a puff. The Qingguang sword forcefully cut through its head defense and pierced its head with one sword. This sword is undoubtedly fatal. I witnessed Chen Qingyun killing a fire cloud lizard with one sword, and the sword was so powerful. This caused Chen Qingyun to exclaim in surprise. What, a sharp sword! Chapter 17. 100 miles soul chasing incense. She knew very well how defensive the fire cloud lizard was. Otherwise, it would not be possible to activate the earth-moving puppets to launch attacks from underground to attack their weak abdomens. But as for his sixth brother, he directly drew his sword from the front and cut through the fire cloud lizard's defense with one sword. In just a moment, a fire cloud lizard was killed. Such strength really made it difficult for her to calm down. Qingyun is so powerful. 4. More. Chen Qingyun recalled the azure light sword and glanced at the remaining 4 fire cloud lizards with a burning gaze. One has the second level of qi refining. There are 3 levels of qi refining at both ends. There is also a 4th level of qi refining. It's not strong, it's just that there are too many of them, so it can't be cleaned up quickly. 6th brother, just deal with the one at the 4th level of qi refining, I'll deal with the other 3. Chen Qingyun greeted. Good. Chen Qingyun nodded, and the azure light sword slashed through the air again, killing the fire cloud lizard at the 4th level of qi refining. In this battle, Chen Qingyun did not dare to be careless. She touched the storage bag with her bare hands and pulled out a flying sword. This flying sword is silver white in color and is 3 feet and 1 inch long. It is called Hunyuan Sword and is a first-level low-grade magic weapon. While she was using the Hunyuan Sword to attack, she ordered the earth puppet to fight against a fire cloud lizard, and successfully killed it in a few moves. On Chen Qingyun's side, since he is stronger, it won't take much effort to fight against a fire cloud lizard. With just 3 sword strikes, he killed the strongest fire cloud lizard. Around, far away. Seeing Chen Qingyun and the two taking action to kill the monsters, the Chen family members all showed curiosity and watched from a distance. In their opinion, it is an extremely rare sight for their immortal master to take action. While they were sighing at the wonder and power of the flying sword, they were also looking forward to it. How great it would be if they could embark on the path of cultivating immortals. Rumble. As the fire cloud lizard manipulated the rocks, bursts of rumbling sounds erupted. In this battle, Chen Qingyun's side firmly gained the upper hand. Of the 6 fire cloud lizards, only the last 2 were left. The green light sword showed its divine power at this time. With just one strike of the sword, it easily killed another fire cloud lizard. Chen Qingyun had no intention of keeping the remaining fire cloud lizard. He wielded the green light sword and prepared to attack again. Qingyun, slow down, slow down. From the side, Chen Qingyun's voice came, causing Chen Qingyun to slow down. The green light sword that was originally flying in the air slowed down and became suspended in the air. What's wrong? Chen Qingyun showed doubts and looked at Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun controlled the earth puppet and stood in front of the fire cloud lizard, restraining the opponent's actions. Don't kill this fire cloud lizard for now, just use it as bait. Chen Qingyun showed a solemn expression and secretly transmitted the message to Chen Qingyun to prevent the fire cloud lizard from hearing the conversation. Some monster beasts are intelligent and can understand human languages. Seeing Chen Qingyun's move, Chen Qingyun didn't know what the other party was thinking, so he smiled in his heart and listened quietly. Chen Qingyun could only be heard continuing to speak. It's strange for the fire cloud lizards to appear here. I thought they should be building a nest nearby. After hearing this, Chen Qingyun guessed the 5th sister's thoughts after thinking for a moment. You mean, you want to find the location of their nest? Yes, it's best for us to find their nests, otherwise it will be difficult to clean them up, and we won't know when they will appear next. Speaking of this, Chen Qingyun came up with another guess. Qingyun, do you know that this fire cloud lizard is extremely sensitive to resources such as spiritual minerals? Maybe besides our hematite mine, there are other spiritual minerals that attract them to build nests in the surrounding area. I'm thinking that we might as well use this fire cloud lizard to try to find their nest. Fire cloud lizards are extremely sensitive to spiritual minerals, and they also eat spiritual minerals for food. According to Chen Qingyun's conjecture, there might be other spiritual mines existing on Zhenhai Island. If a new spiritual mine is discovered from this, it will be a huge opportunity. Fifth sister, you can definitely give this guess a try. That's fine. Then, I'll trap it now. Chen Qingyun immediately used the entanglement technique, condensing spiritual energy into a rope, and temporarily entangled the fire cloud lizard in place, making it unable to leave for a short time. When asked what Chen Qingyun was going to do next, Chen Qingyun touched the storage bag and took out a small jade bottle. What's this? Chen Qingyun looked at the small jade bottle. This is Bailey Soul Chasing Incense. It can be used to leave marks on monsters to achieve the effect of Bailey tracking. Chen Qingyun explained briefly and looked at the fire cloud lizard. Its lair should be on Zhenhai Island. With this elixir, the distance is enough to track its traces. Qi refining monks only have spiritual consciousness, which can be used to read jade slips, practice exercises, use magical weapons, etc. But it can't detect the surrounding situation and track like the divine consciousness. Therefore, Chen Qingyun can only rely on foreign objects. For example, this Bailey Soul Chasing Incense is used to track the movements of the fire cloud lizard. While it is trapped by you, I will release the Bailey Soul Chasing Incense onto it now. Good. The two acted together. Chen Qingyun urged the small jade bottle to fly towards the fire cloud lizard. A wisp of black powder swished out from the mouth of the bottle, falling on the fire cloud lizard like rain. The fire cloud lizard didn't know what the powder was, thinking it was a means of attack by the human cultivators, and quickly swung its body to forcefully break free from the restraints. The 100 miles soul chasing incense covered the entire body of the fire cloud lizard. And it worked. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Qingyun and nodded slightly. Okay, let it go next, and just keep an eye on its whereabouts. Upon hearing this, Chen Qingyun immediately withdrew the mana restraints. The fire cloud lizard was no match, and was thinking about how to escape at this time. It found that the restraints on its body were removed, and immediately swung its body and fled to the depths of the mine. Chen Qingyun and the other person looked at each other and did not chase. With a rustling sound, the fire cloud lizard quickly went away with a dusty face and disappeared from sight. The two ignored it for the time being and began to clean up the battle scene. As a demon beast, the demon pill in the fire cloud lizard's body can be used to refine pills. Especially the scales on its body can be used to refine magic tools. This is something Chen Qingyun attaches great importance to. He now needs a magic tool to decompose the strengthening points to continue to strengthen the earth puppet. The most lacking is the refining materials. The bodies of these fire cloud lizards must not be wasted. Chen Qingyun noticed Chen Qingyun's expression and took the initiative to say, 5 fire cloud lizards, let's divide it according to who kills it. I only killed 1, this one belongs to me, and the remaining 4 belong to you. Chapter 18, Battle of the Lair. The two finished dividing the spoils. In the following time, in order to protect the safety of the mortals of the family. Chen Qingyun announced that the mining of the mineral veins would be temporarily suspended, asking everyone to have a good rest and not to walk around that well to avoid encountering the fire cloud lizard. At the same time, she was always paying attention to the movements of the fire cloud lizard. Through Bailey Soul Chasing Incense, she controlled the movement trajectory of this fire cloud lizard. Chen Qingyun could clearly sense that after penetrating deep into the mineral vein, the fire cloud lizard did not stay in the mineral vein. Instead, they went all the way north, leaving the scope of the mineral veins and entering the northern area of Zhenhai Island. The northern part of Zhenhai Island is the highest area on the island and is composed of hills. It is also the birthplace of the island's rivers. That area is about 10 miles away from here. He just continued to pay attention for a while, and soon Chen Qingyun noticed that the fire cloud lizard stopped moving there. She informed Chen Qingyun of this discovery. "Probably back to the lair," Chen Qingyun suggested. "Without further delay, let's go over and have a look now." The two set off immediately, heading towards the north of Zhenhai Island. With the wind control technique in play, the two of them arrived at their destination in just about a cup of tea. The surrounding mountains are undulating, with numerous hills and lush vegetation. Chen Qingyun was not familiar with the environment in this area. Chen Qingyun is not familiar with this place. Chen Qingyun was even less familiar with it. He looked around a few times and found nothing similar to a nest. Chen Qingyun couldn't help but ask, "Where is the fire cloud lizard now? Can you feel the specific location?" Hearing Chen Qingyun's inquiry, Chen Qingyun sensed the location information transmitted by Bailey Soul Chasing Incense, raised her hand, and pointed her jade finger in the direction. There. As soon as she finished speaking, she released the earth puppet. Seeing the fifth sister's manipulation, Chen Qingyun thought a battle was about to begin. The next moment, all Chen Qingyun said was heard. "In order to avoid alerting the enemy, let's use the earth puppet to investigate first." Chen Qingyun's move made Chen Qingyun secretly surprised. As appear, the fifth sister is 3 years older than me. This cautious style is really rare. It was not unreasonable for the family to agree to her managing the mining of the mineral vein. With Chen Qingyun's finger pointing, the Tuxing puppet received the order and immediately escaped into the ground. It took full advantage of its own advantages and acted as a scout, sneaking towards the fire cloud lizard. Watching the earth-walking puppet disappear underground, with no trace visible, Chen Qingyun realized that the earth-walking puppet could also be used for tracking or exploration. Let's just say that the surrounding areas, whether they are rocks or the ground, are all earth attribute elements. Earth puppets can completely integrate into these earth substances and move forward without being noticed. If it weren't for refining the earth puppet, it would require the consumption of spiritual energy, otherwise Chen Qingyun would not be able to refine just one. After just waiting for a while, Chen Qingyun said, "There really is their nest here. By controlling the earth-moving puppet, you can share your vision and see what the puppet sees." Chen Qingyun clearly saw a small cave in a cliff in the distance. The fire cloud lizard entered that cave. The earth puppet followed and sneaked into it, and what he saw was what Chen Qingyun saw. In the cave, traces of several other fire cloud lizards can be seen, as well as some unknown purple ores, which are placed on the ground and emit a hazy purple light. "What's going on inside? How many fire cloud lizards are there?" Chen Qingyun asked. "Once you find the lair where the fire cloud lizard is, it will be much easier to clean it up. It can be done to eliminate the roots. There are 3 fire cloud lizards in total. One is at the 3rd level of Qi refining, one is at the 2nd level of Qi refining, and one." When he said this, Chen Qingyun frowned slightly. The 3rd fire cloud lizard, its strength should have reached the 5th level of Qi refining. 5th level of Qi refining. Chen Qingyun murmured to himself. The first 2 fire cloud lizards are easy to deal with. The remaining one, who is at the 5th level of Qi refining, has such strength that he is on par with himself. Whether it can be defeated or not is still unclear. While thinking about it, Chen Qingyun was surprised. "Fifth sister, what's wrong?" Chen Qingyun asked. "Anything new in the lair?" "In addition to the 3 fire cloud lizards, there are also some ores in the lair." Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed with light. "However, I haven't recognized what the ores are. At this time, it is not the time to understand this. The most urgent task is to deal with these fire cloud lizards first." The two of them discussed whether they should let the family send someone here to clean up, or whether they should do it themselves. "The 5th level of Qi refining is not too difficult. Let me deal with it. If we really can't defeat it, we can ask the family for help." Chen Qingyun suggested. This is also a good idea. Chen Qingyun's idea is that if he can avoid asking for help from his family, he should try not to ask for help. Since you are sure of a fight, let's do it. Chen Qingyun had no intention of backing down at all. With Chen Qingyun taking the lead, she could deal with one of them. Chen Qingyun used the green light sword. Chen Qingyun also used his flying sword. The two flew towards the nest of the fire cloud lizard, one in front and one behind. The fire cloud lizard in the cave was resting at this time. As two figures appeared in the cave, they all stood up and looked towards the entrance of the cave. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. One of the fire cloud lizards took the lead in launching an attack, gushing out raging fire from its mouth and rushing towards Chen Qingyun. Facing the flame attack, Chen Qingyun used his body skills to dodge and avoided the flame attack in one go. He urged the green light sword and slashed forward with one sword. Whoosh. The green light sword turned into a stream of light, and in just a blink of an eye, it killed the fire cloud lizard. The fire cloud lizard pulled back to dodge, and its huge body moved, and its movements were not slow. At the critical moment, it avoided the slash of the green light sword. The green light sword slashed the air, and slashed on the ground with a loud bang, leaving a long sword mark on the ground. Chen Qingyun raised his eyebrows. He did not think of summoning the earth puppet at this time, and continued to control the green light sword. The green flying sword rose up and left the ground. This time, Chen Qingyun used the sword moves and the Hunyuan sword art. The speed of the green light sword increased dramatically, and it slashed at the fire cloud lizard in an arc from top to bottom. The mighty sword was unstoppable. The power of this sword was amazing, and the speed was also extremely fast, making it impossible for the fire cloud lizard to dodge. As a result, the fire cloud lizard could only watch the flying sword slash in front of it while it was doing useless dodging. With a clang. The green light sword hit the target. Chapter 19 Crisis. With a clang. The Qingguang sword hit the target. The fire cloud lizard was hit by this sword, and its armor defense was broken by the sword, and its flesh and blood flew. It screamed in pain, and looked at Chen Qingyun with anger, roaring loudly, wishing to eat Chen Qingyun alive. However, Chen Qingyun's sword was not fatal. It only severely injured the fire cloud lizard and cut its scales, but did not penetrate into its flesh and blood to hurt its internal organs. The fire cloud lizard was injured, and because of anger, it immediately lost its mind, and its eyes were bloodshot. It opened its mouth again, moved its body towards Chen Qingyun, and used its flame magic power. Huff. A large amount of flames gushed out of its mouth, gathering into a line of fire, and rushed straight towards Chen Qingyun. The temperature of this kind of demon fire is very high. Even a foundation building cultivator will lose a layer of skin if hit, so Chen Qingyun naturally did not dare to be careless. A burning sensation came over. Chen Qingyun used the light body technique, and his body quickly flashed to one side, avoiding the flame attack without any danger. At the same time, the other fire cloud lizard at the 5th level of Qi refining also attacked Chen Qingyun at this time. They spewed out demonic fire from their mouths, trying to burn Chen Qingyun to death here. The two fire cloud lizards attacked at the same time, targeting Chen Qingyun. Qingyun, be careful. Chen Qingyun's worried voice came. She was not idle at this moment. While controlling the earth puppet to fight, she attacked the weakest fire cloud lizard. While controlling the cold moon sword, she assisted the earth puppet in fighting. According to her strength, it would not be a problem to deal with this fire cloud lizard at the 2nd level of Qi refining. It would just take more time. The key to this battle is still with Chen Qingyun. As long as Chen Qingyun can kill the two slightly stronger fire cloud lizards, he can win. Hearing Chen Qingyun's reminder, Chen Qingyun nodded secretly. After avoiding the demon fire attacks of the two fire cloud lizards one by one, he used the Qingguang sword to cut one of the fire cloud lizards again. The powerful attack force cut the head of the fire cloud lizard in one fell swoop and killed it with one sword. The other fire cloud lizard at the 5th level of Qi refining saw its companion being cut, but did not retreat and continued to launch a fierce attack on Chen Qingyun. For a while, the nest was hot and illuminated by the demon fire. After fighting back and forth for more than a dozen rounds, Chen Qingyun found the right opportunity and stabbed the opponent's head with a sword, finally severely injuring the Fire Cloud Lizard. The Fire Cloud Lizard was severely injured, but it still had no idea of escaping. This is its nest, how could it leave? And it launched an even more crazy attack on Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun dodged several times and slashed with the sword several times. In the 20th round, the green light sword hit the opponent's head, and with a puff, it cut a hole in the opponent's head. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun took advantage of the victory and attacked, controlling the green light sword to rise, and then accumulated power to cut again. The flying sword turned into a green stream of light, and with a puff, it finally killed the Fire Cloud Lizard. Finally, solved. Chen Qingyun secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He controlled the flying sword to float in front of him, and looked at Chen Qingyun, just in time to see that Chen Qingyun's battle had also reached its end. With the earth puppet, plus her attacking moves, she has already gained the upper hand. The Fire Cloud Lizard was beaten back by her. Before Chen Qingyun could make a move. The next moment, the earth puppet launched an attack from underground, piercing the Fire Cloud Lizard's abdomen with a long sword and killing it. Compared with Chen Qingyun mainly controlled the earth puppet to win. How could she have the strength of Chen Qingyun and the first-level middle-grade Qingguang sword? She couldn't break the defense of the Fire Cloud Lizard at all. After successfully clearing the 4 Fire Cloud Lizards, Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Qingyun with great gratitude. Without Chen Qingyun's help, it would not be so easy to clear these monsters. She would have to ask for help from the family. The two of them took a short break and were about to carefully investigate the situation in the nest. At this time, a noise came from outside the nest. What's that sound? Chen Qingyun's expression moved. Neither of them had spiritual consciousness. After hearing the noise, they all looked outside the cave. This glance immediately changed Chen Qingyun's color. There is another Fire Cloud Lizard? Outside the cave, a Fire Cloud Lizard was seen rushing in quickly, making a rumbling sound while moving. This Fire Cloud Lizard was much larger, reaching more than 10 feet in length, covered with fiery red scales, and had a solid and huge tail. Its limbs were also thicker, and it looked majestic. Seeing this, the two of them were alert. They didn't want to fall into a passive situation, so they quickly took action to fight the Fire Cloud Lizard. Clang! The cold moon sword slashed out and hit, but was blocked by the scales of the Fire Cloud Lizard, and a sound of metal interweaving broke out. Chen Qingyun's expression condensed, and he sensed the demonic power of the Fire Cloud Lizard. The opponent's strength actually reached the 6th level of Qi refining. How could a Fire Cloud Lizard of this level appear here? Qingyun. The strength of this Fire Cloud Lizard is not low. Chen Qingyun felt very difficult in the first fight. When she noticed the fluctuations of the opponent's breath, the expression on her pretty face changed. She also saw the strength of this Fire Cloud Lizard, and said in her heart that she was no match for it. This is the 6th level of Qi refining. If they really fight, I am afraid that it will hinder Qingyun. The appearance of this Fire Cloud Lizard was completely unexpected by them. While thinking about this, Chen Qingyun had the idea of temporarily retreating. At this time, the crisis is at hand, and she doesn't want Chen Qingyun to have any accidents here because of cleaning up this nest. How to explain to the family at that time? Qingyun, let's retreat first. The strength of this Fire Cloud Lizard is one small realm stronger than you. Chen Qingyun's eyes were filled with deep worry. If we fight, we may be in danger of our lives. 6th level of Qi refining. Chen Qingyun was also looking at the Fire Cloud Lizard, and felt very strange in his heart. Logically speaking, the Fire Cloud Lizard can only grow to the 4th level of Qi refining at most. This is also the reason why Chen Douhai and the other two did not stay to help find the traces of the Fire Cloud Lizard and clean it up. Because Chen Qingyun's strength is enough to deal with such a monster. Moreover, Chen Douhai was worried about something going wrong, so he specially gave Chen Qingyun a fiery sky sword talisman. These arrangements are all excellent. There is no problem. But unexpectedly, the strength displayed by this Fire Cloud Lizard is very strange. This matter is really strange. How did it grow to the 6th level of Qi refining? Chen Qingyun muttered, wanting to take Chen Qingyun away quickly and not fight with this fire cloud lizard. At this moment, the only one who can take care of and protect the fifth sister is herself. She doesn't want the fifth sister to get into trouble here. But before they can make any move. Crash. The fire cloud lizard seemed to be enraged, and instantly exerted its demonic power, controlling the surrounding rocks, soil, etc., and suddenly swept towards the two. Chapter 20 Fierce Battle. The boulder attack launched by the fire cloud lizard has a wide range. Not only did it cover Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun within the attack range, but it also blocked the exit. The two had to deal with the attack first. Seeing this situation, Chen Qingyun raised his eyebrows and immediately used his green light sword to slash at the nearest boulder. The flying sword was so fast that it chopped open the huge boulder with a loud bang, erupting into a small area of gravel and dust. At the same time, Chen Qingyun was filled with mana, and when it surged out, he quickly formed a defensive barrier in front of him, protecting himself and Chen Qingyun behind it. Rumble. Suddenly, there was a roar. These rocks and soil all hit the defensive barrier hard, and they were all blocked. The green light sword was dispatched at this time, turning into a stream of green light in the dust and smoke, and slashed straight at the fire cloud lizard. At this time, if you want to leave the cave, you must suppress the fire cloud lizard. Facing the flying sword attack, the fire cloud lizard was not reckless and did not use its body to defend itself. Visible to the naked eye, the scales on its back are as red as fire, and the scales are like clouds, layer upon layer, covering the entire back, head, limbs and tail. It swung its limbs, bursting out with powerful force, and dodged with a crash. The green light sword slashed through the air and hit the ground, leaving a long sword mark. On the other side, Chen Qingyun's attack followed closely. Hanyu sword and Tu Xing puppet all moved out. Chen Qingyun predicted the fire cloud lizard's actions, used the flying sword, found the right opportunity, and struck the fire cloud lizard with a clang. Sure enough, it still can't be cut open. Chen Qingyun raised her eyebrows. Although this sword was ineffective and hurt a lot of fire cloud lizard, Chen Qingyun's purpose was not to hurt the opponent with the flying sword. She controlled the earth puppet early and activated the boulder technique. Using the same material, the earth elemental puppet master condensed the mountain rocks into shapes, turned them into several huge stones, and smashed them towards the fire cloud lizard. When the boulder fell, a strong wind blew out. The fire cloud lizard had avoided the green light sword due to its previous dodge, and it was only now that it regained its footing, and was unable to dodge again in time. Rumble. The boulder hit the fire cloud lizard hard, and the impact was so powerful that it couldn't stand still and fell to the ground with a cry. Its head was hit so hard that it was dizzy and lost its consciousness for a while. Taking this opportunity, Chen Qingyun gave a low drink. "Let's go." When Chen Qingyun heard this, she had no intention of fighting and rushed towards the exit of the cave. Both of them used the light body technique, and they were very fast. With one step, they flew over a distance of more than 10 feet. In just a blink of an eye, they jumped over the fire cloud lizard, arrived outside the cave, and saw the light of day again. At this time, the fire cloud lizard in the cave also came to its senses and pursued it at a fast pace. Chen Qingyun hurriedly controlled the earth puppet and called Chen Qingyun to run towards the river on one side, where the terrain was open and conducive to displaying his skills. Although the fire cloud lizard in front of me is a bit stronger, it still needs to be cleaned up, otherwise there will be endless troubles. If it breaks into the mineral veins and causes trouble in areas where mortals live, it will be in trouble. They guard Zhenhai Island, not only to guard the mineral veins, but also to protect these Chen family members, who are all blood-related clan members. This monster seems to be enraged and wants to chase us. After avoiding a certain distance, Chen Qingyun frowned and saw the fire cloud lizard pursuing from behind, and was thinking of countermeasures. If you can't beat him, you can naturally avoid it, but there's no guarantee where the opponent will go next, so it's never good to keep him. Qingyun, how about we contact the family as soon as possible and ask the family to send people to support us? This fire cloud lizard is not easy to deal with. Chen Qingyun suggested. How could she have imagined that a fire cloud lizard of this level would appear? At this moment, She couldn't help but think of the strange things before. In the previous cave, there was also a fire cloud lizard at the 5th level of Qi refining. The fire cloud lizard's growth limit can only reach the 4th level of Qi refining. How strange. There is no need to ask for help from the family. I think we can give it a try. Maybe I can kill it. Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed and he had no intention of stopping. There is a green light sword next to him. There is also an earth elemental puppet at the 3rd level of Qi refining who can assist. There is also a fiery sky sword talisman. You can really give it a try to see if you can kill this fire cloud lizard. Okay, then be careful. Seeing Chen Qingyun like this, Chen Qingyun didn't say anything, nodded and decided to help. Even if this is asking for help from the family, Zhenhai Island is far away from the family. Even if the family sends people to support them, it will take at least 4 or 5 hours to reach them. While waiting for rescue, there is no guarantee what this fire cloud lizard will do. When I think of this, I might as well do what Chen Qingyun said, work hard and try to deal with it. Wow. Chen Qingyun touched the storage bag with his palm and sacrificed the earth puppet. After the puppet appeared, it instantly grew from mini size to the size of a person. As soon as it appeared, it attracted Chen Qingyun's attention. Earth puppet. This was the first time Chen Qingyun saw the puppet refined by Chen Qingyun, and she couldn't help but take a closer look. However, before she could take a closer look, Zhuxiantu's puppet seemed a little different. The next moment, the earth puppet, under the control of Chen Qingyun, cast an earth spell. There were many rocks, sand and soil around, and the ground was full of earth elements, which could be used locally. The earth puppet had a natural advantage in fighting in such an environment. Visible to the naked eye, huge rocks condensed into shape, and with a whirring sound, they smashed towards the fire cloud lizard. The fire cloud lizard was dizzy after being hit by such an attack. At this time, seeing the same attack coming again, there was no thought of fighting hard. It moved its limbs, and its huge body burst out with amazing power. With a wheezing sound. Its whole body seemed extremely flexible, and it ran a few feet away in a flash and hid behind the huge rocks. Rumble. These rocks condensed by magic power themselves did not have much flexibility, and they fell down one after another, hitting nothing. Chen Qingyun didn't expect that he could hurt the fire cloud lizard with such an attack. He pointed his finger. Escape. Underground. The command was given, and the earth puppet in front of him moved and performed the earth escape technique, and instantly escaped into the ground. At the same time, Chen Qingyun held the green light sword and performed the light body technique, quickly killing the fire cloud lizard. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun was not idle either. She also controlled her earth puppet and performed the earth escape technique to attack the fire cloud lizard. The cold moon sword in the air emitted a silver-white light, and under the control of magic power, it followed Chen Qingyun closely. Chapter 21 Coordinated Killing. This fire cloud lizard had a certain degree of intelligence and saw the earth puppet's attack method. Because the cold moon sword was faster, it slashed in front of the fire cloud lizard first, but was blocked by the thick scales. Hula la. At the same time, there was an underground movement. The earth puppet controlled by Chen Qingyun also attacked closely. Facing the underground attack, the fire cloud lizard moved quickly at the critical moment, and its speed was not slow at all. With a clatter. The earth puppet emerged from the ground with a sword, bringing up a small area of dust, and a sword light flashed in the dust. The earth puppet's attack missed, allowing the fire cloud lizard to dodge. In the next moment. The fire cloud lizard had just stood firm, and the ground around it was once again surging with waves of mud. At this time, Chen Qingyun's earth puppet followed closely behind and launched an offensive. Chen Qingyun knew that his strength was insufficient. Even a frontal attack could not break the defense of the fire cloud lizard. She simply played to her strengths and avoided her weaknesses, attacking from underground, attacking the belly of the fire cloud lizard. The fire cloud lizard dodged Chen Qingyun's attack, but now facing this earth puppet, there was no time to dodge, and there was no way to withdraw and dodge. It knew that its defense was weak, so it simply gathered strength in its limbs and suddenly jumped to one side. Under such a huge force, its huge body rose from the ground. The earth puppet was rushing out from the ground at this time, and the long sword in its hand could not pierce the belly of the fire cloud lizard. However, this sword pierced its right back leg fiercely. The sharp sword penetrated its thigh, bursting with blood. Like the abdomen, the lower edges of its limbs were not covered with scales, but only a layer of hard skin. It was easy for a flying sword to pierce this skin. Hiss! The fire cloud lizard let out a roar after its right leg was pierced by a long sword. Then the powerful impact of the earth puppet pushed it into a posture with its legs upright and its tail hanging down. Qingyun. At this time, Chen Qingyun's anxious voice came. Draw your sword now. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this time, even if the fifth sister didn't remind him, Chen Qingyun knew what to do next. The opportunity was right in front of him. While the fire cloud lizard exposed its abdomen, Chen Qingyun used his magic power at full speed and injected it into the green light sword frantically. The light on the green light sword was brighter and the aura was stronger. Go! As Chen Qingyun stretched out his hand and pointed. In just a moment. While the fire cloud lizard had not yet landed. The green light sword turned into a ray of almost invisible green light. With a whoosh, it was like an arrow from a string. With an extremely fast speed. The fire cloud lizard had not yet landed, and its body was in the air, making it difficult to control. When it sensed the flying sword coming, it could not make a defensive posture at all. Puff! The green light sword hit the target, piercing the fire cloud lizard's weak abdomen, bursting with a large amount of blood. Before it could wail, the huge body fell to the ground with a bang, staining the ground red. The earth puppet also fell to the ground and got up in a panic. The sword found the right opportunity and severely injured the fire cloud lizard. Chen Qingyun had no mercy at this time. While the green light sword was still piercing the fire cloud lizard's abdomen, he immediately controlled the flying sword to pick it up. With a bang. The flying sword was extremely sharp, enough to split mountains and rocks, and this time it cut the fire cloud lizard's abdomen with a sword. Hiss! The fire cloud lizard encountered this heavy blow, roared wildly, and rolled on the ground a few times. It only struggled for a while before it lost its breath and did not move. Huh! Seeing this, Chen Qingyun breathed a sigh of relief and could not help but look at Chen Qingyun. Done? Glancing at the body of the fire cloud lizard, Chen Qingyun was stunned for a moment. She obviously did not expect that the two of them would join forces to kill the fire cloud lizard so quickly. Done. Chen Qingyun forced a smile and nodded slowly. Today's battle was his first life and death battle since he crossed over to this world. The enemy he faced was a fire cloud lizard that was one level higher than himself. If it were not for the fact that Chen Qingyun was by his side and needed his care. And there were also Chen family mortals who needed protection and could not be ignored. Otherwise, he would not want to fight this fire cloud lizard. Fortunately, this fire cloud lizard looked strong, but its weakness was obvious. As long as the flying sword hit its abdomen, it could be easily killed. In this battle, they won because they cooperated well. If it weren't for Chen Qingyun's puppet attack, which caused the fire cloud lizard to turn over and expose its abdomen, Chen Qingyun would not have won so quickly. Fortunately, it was killed and we didn't suffer any damage. Chen Qingyun wiped the sweat from her forehead and breathed a sigh of relief. That was a close call. If Chen Qingyun hadn't participated in this battle, she would never have fought, and she would have had to ask for help from the family. Qingyun, this time it's thanks to you, otherwise with my ability, I would not be the opponent of this fire cloud lizard. It's good that the family sent you to help me. As she spoke, Chen Qingyun laughed. She actually didn't expect that Chen Qingyun would be so strong. Joining forces with her, they can kill the demon beast of the 6th level of Qi refining. Originally, they had never seen Chen Qingyun take action. Chen Qingyun would have thought that Chen Qingyun's strength was only slightly higher in realm. In terms of actual combat ability, it should not be outstanding. In fact, he does not have any actual combat ability. But after this battle, her impression of Chen Qingyun has changed a little. Her 6th brother is not a flower in a greenhouse. On the surface, he looks humble and peaceful, but he is not ambiguous at all when he takes action. Next. Out of vigilance against the fire cloud lizards around, The two did not put away their magic weapons and quickly walked towards the corpse of the Fire Cloud Lizard. The Fire Cloud Lizard of the 6th level of Qi refining can be said to be full of treasures. Under the sweep of a water spell cast by Chen Qingyun, the Fire Cloud Lizard was quickly cleaned up. Qingyun, you killed this Fire Cloud Lizard, so it should belong to you. I've cleaned it up for you, so you keep it. That's not right, 5th sister. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun shook her head immediately. I was able to kill it, but it was also inseparable from your efforts. How can I have the nerve to monopolize it? 5th sister, you don't have to let me go like this. Obviously, Chen Qingyun didn't expect Chen Qingyun to think this way, and looked at Chen Qingyun in surprise. Then, how do you want to divide it? She was silent for a while before asking. How to divide it? Chen Qingyun thought for a while and pointed to the scales of the Fire Cloud Lizard. I think it's better to do this. The part of it that can be used to refine magic tools belongs to me, and I'll use it, and the demon pill belongs to you. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper. Earlier, I benefited from Chen Qingyun. After obtaining the 5 elements puppetry and earned this favor, Chen Qingyun has been looking for opportunities to repay it. What interested him most about this Fire Cloud Lizard was the scales. The rest of it is not of much use, so why not give it to 5th sister? After all, the 5th sister also played a role in this battle. The credit doesn't all lie with me. Then, I didn't take advantage of you? Seeing Chen Qingyun unwilling to share like this, Chen Qingyun smiled. 5th sister, you are so kind to me. But these are just petty gains, and you are not taking advantage of me. Chen Qingyun smiled and said, we should help each other. That's good. Seeing Chen Qingyun's decision, Chen Qingyun was no longer polite. The Fire Cloud Lizards have been divided. There are still some spoils to be divided among the caves. The two suffered this loss and did not enter the cave rashly again. Chen Qingyun set up the earth puppet and went to the cave to investigate carefully. Chen Qingyun ordered the earth puppets to pay attention to the surrounding disturbances. Just explored like this for a while. After making sure there is no potential danger, Chen Qingyun left the earth puppet at the entrance of the cave to look after him, and followed Chen Qingyun into the cave. As the lair of the Fire Cloud Lizard, they had discovered some minerals here before. It was a purple mineral, the size of a fist, scattered in the nest, showing a lavender halo. Chen Qingyun picked up a piece and looked at it for a while, and a name appeared in his mind. Earth Fire, Purple Gold and Copper. It's Earth Fire, Purple Gold and Copper. Chen Qingyun also recognized this type of ore, and there was a hint of joy in her beautiful eyes. In the Sea of Stars, there are rich mineral resources, among which the earth fire, purple gold and copper are the most famous. However, this earth fire, purple gold and copper is in the hands of Zhang sect Wuan Island. The few pieces they found have all reached the first order level. This can be used to refine the first level magic weapon. The value of a piece of earth fire purple gold and copper is approximately equal to 200 spirit stones. After counting, there are a total of 6 pieces of earth fire, purple gold and copper appearing here. The appearance of the 6 earth fires, purple gold and copper made it difficult for both of them to conceal their inner excitement. Qingyun, we can find earth fire purple gold and copper here. Does that mean there is a purple gold and copper vein hidden on this island? Chen Qingyun boldly guessed, with a look of anticipation on his face. As we all know, in the entire Star Sea, only Wuan Island can produce earth fire purple gold and copper. And the production capacity is not high. This is a specialty of Qingguang Island. Even if Starsect wants to obtain earth fire, purple gold and copper, they need to obtain it from Qingguang Island. And on such a small Zhenhai Island, there are traces of such spiritual mines. This did not allow Chen Qingyun to guess whether there was a hidden vein of earth fire purple gold and copper on Zhenhai Island. Earth, fire purple gold copper veins. Chen Qingyun looked thoughtful and thought for a while. There is a fire cloud lizard on the island. This is already very strange. Now there is an earth fire, purple, gold and copper. I think the possibility you mentioned is really possible. The underground fire chamber itself is built on an underground fire. This kind of environment does not rule out the possibility of giving birth to earth fire, purple, gold and copper. However, the family has not discovered the existence of such mineral veins. That also shows that there are no purple, gold and copper veins here. The origin of this earth fire, purple, gold and copper has now become a mystery, shrouded in mystery. I think if there's even a glimmer of possibility, it's worth trying. Chen Qingyun said, don't give up just because there is little hope. Originally, this hematite mine. It was after she settled on Zhenhai Island and discovered that there was spiritual energy here that she paid closer attention and finally discovered hematite. I wonder if I will be so lucky this time. The two discussed it. In the end, it was decided to use earth puppets as a means of investigation to carefully explore the ground and even the underground of Zhenhai Island. The earth puppet itself has the ability to travel underground and can fully meet the detection requirements. It's just that it will take a little longer. But compared to the possible existence of underground fire, purple, gold and copper veins, this time investment is still worth it. Okay, let's do as you say. Let's try to find this vein. Maybe we will gain something. Chen Qingyun said. He also wanted to discover a new mineral vein, increase the family's resource income, and benefit the clan members. Negotiation completed. The two of them continued to conduct a blanket search of this lair, trying to find out why the fire cloud lizard had abnormal strength and could reach the 6th level of qi refining. Chen Qingyun guessed that the other party must have taken some kind of heavenly material and earthly treasure, which caused his own strength to mutate. However, after some searching, other than the earth, fire, purple, gold and copper, there was nothing else of value in the lair. Everything seemed ordinary. This result made both of them confused. That's all. Maybe those heavenly and earthly treasures aren't here. Chen Qingyun smiled bitterly. 6 pieces of earth fire, purple, gold and copper were divided equally between the two. The corpses of the 4 fire cloud lizards were divided according to the beheading, with 3 heads for Chen Qingyun and 1 head for Chen Qingyun. At the end of the trip, the two returned to the mining site. Everything is normal here at the mine, and there is no trace of the fire cloud lizard again. The nest of the fire cloud lizard has been destroyed and should be cleaned up. They can relax for a while. After confirming that there is no danger in the ore vein, the two people's lives are back on track. That afternoon, Chen Qingyun had an idea and consulted Chen Qingyun. He wanted to use the fire cloud scale armor to refine magic tools. Yes, Chen Qingyun wanted to refine magic tools as soon as possible and obtain new strengthening points. He currently has the bodies of 7 fire cloud lizards and a set of fire cloud lizard scale armor in his hands. This can refine up to 8 magic tools. However, unlike refining the red iron sword, changing the refining materials, it is unknown whether the yield rate will be affected when refining. To be on the safe side, Chen Qingyun decided to consult first and try to improve his yield rate. If a refining material is wasted, he would feel very distressed. You like to refine magic tools now. Unlike the refining of the red iron sword, the flame temperature required to smelt the fire cloud scale armor will be different, but there is no difference in the other fusion, plasticity and inscription formations. Chen Qingyun carefully informed Chen Qingyun to pay attention to the control of the temperature. Different refining materials require different smelting temperatures. This needs to be noted. In addition, if you want to refine the earth fire purple gold copper first, I suggest you don't be so anxious. This is a material that can be refined into a first-level top-grade magic tool. With your current refining attainments, it will greatly vary its own value. Chen Qingyun reminded. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun nodded slowly. Don't worry, I know my limits. This time, I will only use the fire cloud lizard for refining, and will not touch the earth fire purple gold copper. Chen Qingyun also knew that the earth fire purple gold copper could not be touched in the near future. Rather than using it to refine a low-level magic weapon, It is better to sell it in exchange for spirit stones. The price of a piece of earth fire purple gold copper is about 200 spirit stones. At least it is equivalent to a first level medium quality magic weapon. Who would do a loss making business? Chapter 23 Puppet advances to the 6th level of Qi refining. Pull out the scales from several fire cloud lizards and clean them. Entering the earth fire room alone, Chen Qingyun quickly entered the weapon refining state. He planned to refine the simplest flying sword. His purpose of refining these magic weapons was mainly to decompose them. Therefore, as long as the refining can be successful, it will be fine. As for the form of the magical weapon, this is not that important. With the experience of refining a red iron sword, it will be much easier to refining a sword-shaped magic weapon later. The formation was activated and the temperature of the ground fire was controlled. Chen Qingyun placed a set of fire cloud scale armor into the earth fire and began to smelt it. It is true that unlike hematite, the temperature for smelting fire cloud scale armor is much higher. It took nearly 2 hours to complete the smelting of the fire cloud scale armor. Chen Qingyun still used Baliang steel as the fusion material. After smelting Baliang Yang into a metallic liquid, he quickly entered the fusion step. The subsequent shaping and inscription formation were also successfully completed. Whoosh! As the ground fire surged, a fiery red flying sword floated quietly in front of him, shining brightly under the flames. Immediately he put the first flying sword aside to cool down and started the second, third, and fourth refining. In the next 2 days, Chen Qingyun forgot about food and sleep, and made a total of 7 refinings. In the end, a total of 2 flying swords were released. This yield rate is not very good. If instead of refining flying swords, you refining magic weapons such as spears and mirrors, the engraved formation patterns will be different, which will reduce the yield of finished products. Chen Qingyun is also refining the flying sword that he is currently familiar with. You still need to practice more on refining weapons. If I didn't have experience in refining red iron swords, it would not be easy to refining these 2 flying swords. The materials are different, and the refining techniques will be different. It's much more difficult to use monster materials to refine weapons than using ores. I still have 1 set of fire cloud scale armor left. Chen Qingyun's eyes were blazing, and although he was a little tired physically, he was excited inside. This last set of fire cloud scale armor was obtained from the fire cloud lizard at the 6th level of Qi refining. In terms of quality, it can just meet the requirements for refining a first level mid-grade magic weapon. If it is continued to be used to refine a first order low-grade flying sword, it will be overkill. However, it is still important to improve your own strength now. There will be many opportunities to obtain better weapon refining materials in the future. After spending some time, Chen Qingyun refined the fire cloud scale armor and produced the first order low-grade inner armor. After resting for a while, he closed the earth fire formation and left the earth fire room. Passing by the mine vein, he saw from a distance that Chen Qingyun was commanding the Tushing puppet, digging a mine there. And there was a rumbling sound. As the veins are mined, there will be more and more mine holes. The mines are also connected in all directions, making it easy to walk through the crisscrossing. It's really convenient for this earth puppet to mine the mine. Chen Qingyun just glanced at it twice, and then went straight back to his residence. He couldn't wait to take out 2 flying swords and disassemble them with an inner armor. 3 first-level low-grade magic weapons turned into light and disappeared one after another. Strengthening point +1, strengthening point +1, strengthening point +1. 3 prompts sounded in sequence. Taking out the Tushing puppet, Chen Qingyun reached out and grabbed the puppet's arm. Strengthen the puppet. The order was issued, and the strengthening points changed from 4 to 2. As the light surged around the earth puppet, the aura began to rise. Feeling the aura fluctuations on the puppet's body carefully, Chen Qingyun's expression condensed, and a bright light burst out from his eyes. This is the 6th level of Qi refining. With the second enhancement, the puppet was upgraded from the 3rd level of Qi refining to the 6th level of Qi refining. After leaping to 2 small realms, in just the blink of an eye, he obtained a puppet that was more powerful than his own strength. If there are more strengthening points, Wouldn't it be possible to continue to improve the puppet's strength? 2 times of strengthening, from the first level of Qi refining to the third level of Qi refining, and then from the third level of Qi refining to the sixth level of Qi refining. If you continue to strengthen according to this step, will the puppet's strength reach the ninth level of Qi refining next time? Chen Qingyun speculated in his mind. Not only that the next strengthening point should be 3 or 4 points. There is a gradual growth process here, and the required strengthening points are gradually increasing. With this thought in his mind, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but start to control the puppet to see if there was any other improvement besides strength. Try to escape from the ground, use earth skills, launch attacks, etc. Chen Qingyun discovered that in terms of control range, the earth puppet had been greatly improved. Originally, the control range of the earth puppet was within 100 feet. Once this distance is exceeded, the puppet will turn into a lump of earth. Now, as the level increases, the controllable range expands from 100 feet to a distance of 500 feet. This improvement is not small. Its combat radius has been greatly enhanced, allowing it to be controlled from a longer distance. This made Chen Qingyun smile and try to strengthen the puppet again. There are not enough strengthening points to strengthen it. The system pops up a prompt. The results are clear. It seems that more strengthening points are needed. We will know after accumulating some strengthening points and strengthening the puppet to the first level. Looking at the remaining 2 points of enhancement, Chen Qingyun decided to use them to enhance the Qingguang sword. The upgrade of the Qingguang sword can bring a very direct increase in power, thereby improving its own strength. 2. Enhance the Qingguang sword to the first grade upper grade. The required enhancement points should also be 2 points. Take out the Qingguang sword, put your palm on the hilt, and Chen Qingyun began to enhance. The Qingguang sword flashed with green light, and the breath of the magic weapon became stronger, and the color became more exquisite. And distinctly, you can also feel the sword energy spreading. The flying sword was enhanced in an instant. This improvement is obvious. The enhancement was successful. Chen Qingyun looked happy. It's really 2 points of enhancement. He controlled the Qingguang sword and performed a few sword moves. He could clearly feel the increase in the power of the flying sword at this time. If he dealt with the 6th level fire cloud lizard again, Chen Qingyun had the confidence to kill it alone, and he would not be as afraid as before. After playing with the Qingguang sword for a while, Chen Qingyun's attention immediately fell on the system. Regarding the fusion of magic tools mentioned by the system, what kind of fusion method is this? Chen Qingyun fumbled for a while. He found that no matter how to combine the 3, Hunyuan Boat, Qingguang sword, or earth puppet, there was no option to click on the fusion. I don't know if it's because the types of magic tools are different and can't be fused, or if the magic tools are not of high grade. This has not been figured out for the time being. Isn't the fusion function not yet open? Chen Qingyun touched his chin. The system is not intelligent, so there is no way to ask. Let's see later. Regarding fusion, it's not something that needs to be paid attention to now. After putting away the system panel, Chen Qingyun took a few deep breaths, slowly entered the state of cultivation, and began to practice the fiery gold art to wash away the fatigue in his body. Chapter 24 Black Cliff Market. 2 consecutive days of refining magic tools made Chen Qingyun more or less physically and mentally exhausted. Fortunately, through practice, this fatigue can be well relieved, and it is also conducive to the growth of cultivation. Chen Qingyun has 3 spiritual roots of fire, gold and wood, and can practice the 3 attributes, namely fire, gold and wood. The fiery gold art is very suitable for Chen Qingyun to practice. He circulated the practice meridian route of the practice method, constantly absorbing the spiritual energy of the surrounding heaven and earth. He continued to practice for more than 4 hours, until the next day at dawn. Chen Qingyun opened his eyes tiredly. If you want to break through to the 6th level of Qi refining, according to the current practice speed, it will take at least 3 years. Not to mention reaching the peak of Qi refining. According to what the 5th sister said, it is not so easy to break through the foundation building stage within 20 years. Feeling that it is difficult to break through the cultivation, Chen Qingyun smiled bitterly. Although it is rare to be a 16-year-old at the 5th level of qi refining, it can be regarded as outstanding in the major sects of cultivating immortals. But this kind of strength, when placed on the battlefield of the Starsea monster tide, is definitely a cannon fodder. In front of thousands of monsters, no matter how talented you are, whether you are a natural talent or not. As long as you are weak, you will be killed by a claw. How can you have hope of survival? That's exactly the case. After the battle with the fire cloud lizard, Chen Qingyun had an urgent idea to improve his strength. Now, if you want to quickly improve your cultivation, you really need to buy some elixirs and spiritual fruits to assist in cultivation. Time waits for no one, and the soul-related skills must be practiced as soon as possible and put on the agenda. After thinking about it for a while, Chen Qingyun checked the storage bag to see how much wealth he had. In terms of spiritual stones, there are a total of 341 pieces. Not to mention the magic tools and talismans. In addition, there is a broken and old map. This is a broken map, which was obtained from a bandit cultivator who intercepted Chen Qingyun when he first moved in the inner Starsea 4 years ago. The incomplete map is divided into 2 parts, which seem to record a treasure location. It is just that because the information is incomplete, no useful information can be seen, and it has been kept until now. In the future, if you are lucky, you may find another incomplete map. After pondering for a while, putting away the incomplete map, looking at the only spiritual stones, Chen Qingyun quickly made a plan. The nearest market around Zhenhai Island is Xinglan Market. Why don't you go there for a walk? The Fire Cloud Lizard's demon pill also needs to be sold in the market in exchange for some spiritual stones. With limited cultivation resources, I should get more cultivation resources myself. In terms of magic tools, you can also try to refine a few magic tools, strengthen them and sell them in the market to earn some spiritual stones. After thinking for a while, Chen Qingyun made up his mind. After selling the Fire Cloud Lizard's demon pill and a few magic tools, wouldn't the spiritual stones for buying pills and spiritual fruits come? After a night's rest, Chen Qingyun informed Chen Qingyun after breakfast the next day. Upon learning that Chen Qingyun was going to the market, Chen Qingyun pondered for a moment. Going to the Zhuxian market. After a while, she slowly spoke. I also want to go to the market recently, but there must be a cultivator guarding the island after all. You go first this time, and I will go later. Okay. Chen Qingyun nodded. Chen Qingyun asked, which market do you want to go to? Go to Xinglan Market, it's closer. Upon hearing that it was Xinglan Market, Chen Qingyun's beautiful eyebrows slightly frowned. Although Xinglan Market is closer to us, it is not large in scale, and there are all kinds of people, lack of management, and it is easy for young cultivators like you to be deceived. Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Qingyun, and remembered the experience of being undercut by others in Xinglan Market with the family cultivators, and couldn't help sighing slightly in her heart. The family sells spiritual medicines, which seems to be easy to earn spiritual stones, but in fact there are many tricks here. One is that it is easy to be undercut by others. In addition, there will be various factors such as the preservation of spiritual medicines and the age of medicinal materials, and the price will fluctuate. Qingyun. Thinking of the family's experience, Chen Qingyun showed a serious look. If you want to sell the Fire Cloud Lizard demon pill, or purchase cultivation resources, I suggest you go to the Black Cliff Market, which is more suitable for you. Black Cliff Market. Chen Qingyun muttered to himself after hearing this. He had heard of the name of the Black Cliff Market. This is a Zhuxian market located in the eastern part of the Xingsha Islands. It is also the second-ranked Zhuxian market in the Xingsha Islands, founded by Yaoang Mountain. With Yaoang Mountain as its back, the Black Cliff Market has developed very rapidly. In just over 500 years, a large number of spiritual medicines and pills have emerged in the Black Cliff Market, giving birth to an extremely developed pill market. In the Xingsha Islands, if there is a market with the largest pill market, More choices and more affordable prices. The first thing that Xing Haimeng thought of was the Black Cliff Market. Compared to Xinglan Market, going to the Black Cliff Market, whether selling demon pills or buying pills, is obviously the most cost-effective. If you go to Xinglan Market just because it is the closest, it is better to go to the Black Cliff Market with a little more effort. Okay, then let's go to the Black Cliff Market. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly and mentioned that he wanted to purchase soul-related skills. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun was silent for a moment and said seriously, "The average price of Qi refining technique is more than 600 spiritual stones, and the highest will not exceed 1,000. However, if it is a foundation building technique, at least 1,500 spiritual stones are required to start." "Do you have so many spiritual stones?" This question really stumped Chen Qingyun. He really didn't have any. However, he had already thought of a solution. "Fifth sister, I have an unwelcome request. Tell me, can I spend some spiritual stones to buy a few dozen pieces of red iron from you?" Hearing Chen Qingyun's idea, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but smile. She thought Chen Qingyun wanted to borrow money from her. If she really wanted to borrow, she still had 1,000 or 2 spiritual stones in savings. Yes, the family's red iron mining has records of the amount. The red iron with excellent quality is 9 spiritual stones per piece. I can give you 8 per piece. How much do you think? After hearing this, Chen Qingyun counted the number of spiritual stones on his body, which was only more than 300 pieces. Without thinking too much, he paid 280 spirit stones and bought 35 pieces of red iron from the family through Chen Qingyun. Guessing that Chen Qingyun wanted to refine magic tools to sell, she suggested, "There is a shop called Zhuxiantu in Hefang City. It has a good reputation and offers fair prices. It is suitable for both recycling demon pills and selling magic tools. You can go there to have a look." "Okay. Well, go ahead. The shopkeeper of Zhuxiantu is called Liu Zilan. She once saved my life and is trustworthy. You can ask her to sell this technique." Chen Qingyun elaborated a few more words, with a smile between her eyebrows, which looked particularly beautiful at this moment. After the last battle, her relationship with Chen Qingyun became better. This was earned by fighting side by side and experiencing life and death battles. Chen Qingyun wanted to go to Hefang City, and she didn't have to worry about Chen Qingyun's safety. Knowing that Chen Qingyun had the power to protect himself, he would not fall into the hands of those pirates on the sea. Zhuxiantu, Liu Zilan. Chen Qingyun heard the words and silently memorized them. He could not help but think of the old story that the fifth sister had experienced outside and was attacked by a monster, which caused great damage to her body. Since she experienced that life and death battle and returned to the family, her cultivation has regressed, from the 4th level of Qi refining to the 2nd level of Qi refining. Now, hearing that Liu Zilan had saved her life, he could not help but speculate. Perhaps, the person who saved her from the monster back then was most likely Liu Zilan. Since the other party was so righteous, going to Zhuxiantu to trade was also a way to repay the favor for the fifth sister. Say goodbye and stand up. In the next 3 days, Chen Qingyun was immersed in the process of refining magic tools. Chapter 25 Copper Flying Blade, 35 pieces of red iron. A total of 14 red iron swords were produced. In addition, he also took out a piece of earth fire purple gold copper the size of a wash basin, which was slightly inferior in quality, for refining. This kind of spiritual ore is good, but it will take a while to be promoted to a first-class top-grade weapon refiner to make full use of it and give full play to its own maximum value. This is still a bit far away from me. It is better to take out a piece to refine it first, benefit myself first, and earn spiritual stones. In the future, there will definitely be many opportunities to obtain more and better refining materials, so there is no need to keep this thing to eat dust. There are also 2 pieces of earth fire purple gold copper, which can be kept. This refining added 100 forging steel, which lasted for 2 days, and finally produced 2 flying blade magic tools, named purple copper flying blades. The magic tools were refined, a total of 16. Chen Qingyun decomposed all 14 red iron swords, obtained 14 strengthening points, and then strengthened the 2 purple copper flying blades to the first class top level. In this way, the value of these 2 copper flying blades is about 2,700 spirit stones. The price of foundation building skills is at least 1,500 spirit stones. The soul skills are more niche and scarce, starting at least 2,000 spirit stones. With these spirit stones, it is enough to buy skills. After a night's rest, the next morning. After letting the formation open by itself and protecting the entire Zhenhai Island, Chen Qingyun flew the cloud boat to the north of Zhenhai Island. Qi refining cultivators cannot fly in the air. The sea is vast, and the speed of traveling by boat is not fast, so they will choose to use flying instruments to travel. This is also the reason why Chen Qingyun will not decompose the flying cloud boat. After flying for more than half a day and flying over a vast sea area, Chen Qingyun finally arrived at a small island. Looking down from the air, you can see clouds and mist gathering on the island, and there is a cloud and mist formation that is always open. Faintly, you can see a huge black cliff standing on this small island, with clear colors in the white clouds and mist. Around the black cliff, there is a market town built around it. The number of houses in the market town, at first glance, is as many as 600 or 700. This is the Black Cliff Market Town. Seeing the market town scene, Chen Qingyun showed interest and looked at it carefully. It is said that on the Black Cliff, there lives a giant ancestor from Yaoang Mountain, named Beilei Ozu, who protects the peace of this market town. Once a cultivator attacks the market town, this giant ancestor will take action. This also makes the Black Cliff Market Town peaceful, and no one dares to make trouble under the eyes of the giant ancestor. In addition to the many market town regulations formulated by Yaoang Mountain, the Black Cliff Market Town is also well managed and prosperous. This is the first time that Chen Qingyun has come to this Black Cliff Market Town. He drove the Hunyuan boat and slowly landed on this island. The entire Black Cliff Market Town is covered by a defensive formation, the Mist Hidden Mystery Formation, which plays a role in protecting the market town. The entrance to the market is located on the south side of the island, and can only be entered from there. There is a formation restriction at the entrance. This restriction serves the purpose of detecting demon cultivators and preventing them from entering. Orthodox cultivators and mortals can enter and exit here freely. Of course, since this island is located on the vast ocean, it is not easy for mortals to land here. Occasionally, mortals will come from afar to cross the sea to enter this market in order to see the immortal face and contact the immortal fate. Unlike other markets, it is not necessary to pay spirit stones to enter this Black Cliff Market. At the entrance of the market, there are 2 Yaoang Mountain cultivators guarding on the left and right, both of whom are resting with their eyes closed. When Chen Qingyun came here, the 2 Yaoang Mountain cultivators opened their eyes and glanced at Chen Qingyun lightly. The cultivator on the left said calmly, "Fellow Taoist, please abide by the rules of the market after entering it." Unexpectedly, the other party would respond. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly, clasped his hands and said, "Of course. Go in." The cultivator on the right spoke up immediately, looking behind Chen Qingyun. At this moment, 2 casual cultivators were walking together, following behind Chen Qingyun, and they were obviously going to enter the market to trade. Seeing Chen Qingyun's dress, he had the style of a family cultivator. This attracted the 2 casual cultivators to look at him a few more times, with a bit of envy in their eyes. Different from family cultivators, casual cultivators have no one to rely on, and have no family or sect to cultivate. They will work hard for cultivation resources all day long, just like the rootless duckweed. Even if they come to this Zhuxian market, they are very careful when buying cultivation resources, and they are reluctant to spend an extra spirit stone. Most of the casual cultivators live in poverty and have a hard time. They can only tighten their belts to make ends meet, so they naturally envy Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun did not delay for long, passed through the restriction, and entered the market. Arrived at the market. What came into view was a wide and flat main street. Clearly visible, the elixir shop, the spiritual herb hall, the treasure pavilion and other shops were lined up on both sides of the street. This scene can indeed be called a market. However, There is one thing that is different from what I imagined. There is no bustling and prosperous here with people coming and going. Looking around, there are not many cultivators on the street, only about 100 people coming and going. Looking at the colorful and different clothes, most of them are casual cultivators. For casual cultivators, Zhuxian market is not only a place where they can obtain resources for cultivation, pan for gold, and pick up bargains, but also a good place for them to earn spiritual stones. There are countless monsters in the Star Sea. The monster pills of monsters themselves can also be used to refine pills. This has led to the prosperity of the alchemy lineage in the Star Sea, and the popularity of alchemy. With the prosperity of the alchemy lineage, countless cultivators have flocked into this industry, resulting in an increasing demand for monster pills. This has also led to the development of the position of demon hunter, who specializes in killing monsters and obtaining demon pills to make a living and earn rewards. In order to make a living and obtain the necessary cultivation resources, the casual cultivators in the Star Sea often become demon hunters and fight monsters in various places. Compared with the cultivators of the family or sect, these casual cultivators have much higher practical experience and even scheming. For example, family cultivators like Chen Qingyun, who have been protected by their families since childhood and live under the wings of their families, may not be able to defeat independent cultivators of the same level once they fight with them. At this time, more than 80% of the cultivators who appeared in the Black Cliff Market were independent cultivators. They carried newly acquired demon pills. Or the bold ones simply carried the corpse of a demon beast and walked on the street in a swagger. Such scenes did not attract the attention of the surrounding cultivators. Everyone was already used to such scenes. Only young men like Chen Qingyun, who had just arrived, kept looking around, and sometimes attracted the vigilant and puzzled gazes of several independent cultivators. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.